I'll be right back. As usual, running late as usual. Y'all wouldn't expect anything different from me. I'm sure some of y'all those who saw my Twitter post were probably worried that I died in the gym, but not this week. Not this week. So I'm here. See, there's two people here. As usual, running late as usual. Y'all wouldn't expect anything different from me. I'm sure some of y'all those who saw my Twitter post were probably worried that I died in the gym, but not this week. Yes, I know I have my hat on sideways. So I'm here. See, there's two people here. If I could get I don't have guns yet. I've only been going back to the gym for 3 days. But if you can see, I got my Wing Bits logo right here. I'm hyped up for Wing Bits. Tell y'all, I've had a bad 3-4 days. I've been taking so much vacation from work, trying to de-stress. I can't figure out what's going on with this microphone. I've only been going back to the gym for 3 days. Before I retire from YouTube, I'll figure out the whole microphone thing. But I'm hyped up for Wing Bits. Tell y'all, I've had a bad. It's been a very stressful week. I had vacation from work. This will be. I'm not joking. This will be the first week that I have worked an entire week at work without vacation or interruption since Thanksgiving. Since the week before Thanksgiving. The week before that, I think we had the election. Week before that, we had November 1st holiday for All Saints Day. So since like October, I think I've worked 1 or 2 full weeks. Last week we shut down for 3 days because of snow. We had 9 inches of snow, which crippled Louisiana. I still got to finish my video on that. It's been so this is my first full week, and I'm behind on so much stuff for work. You think you're finally finishing something, and then I also can't take breaks, eat lunch at my desk so I can work on some crypto stuff because I'm so behind. I'm not even barely doing that. So luckily, I have my Bywater bourbon for those who have followed me long enough. But I was getting even more depressed if you followed my Twitters or saw me in Discord crying like a 2-year-old because everybody was getting their Wing Bitch geosigners except for me. And I was very upset over that because I am Mr. Wing Bits. I am the Gestapo and the Godfather of the Gulf. And the fact that I have not got my geosigner when everybody else was getting their geosigner, I was very upset. I think they should have made a special delivery just for me. But I kid. I don't want nobody to take people can't take jokes. So as Grumpy Luck, I tell y'all, I have the worst luck in the world. If there's a 1% chance of dying from getting your tonsils out, I can bank on that 1%. So I had 2 different packages because I have my account from Wing Bits with my 14 stations. Out of those 14 stations, 10 geosigners should be coming to me. The other 4 go to my host. And then in my other account, I have my 3 buddies that we had all them helium miners that we swapped over to eventually Wing Bits, some of those stations. So I have 5 or 6 geosigners coming. So I have a package of those 5 or 6 geosigners and a package of 10 geosigners. Completely separate shipping addresses. Both of them got flagged when they got sent to the shipper for having batteries. For those who don't know, there were like 1 or 2 or 3% of all the geosigners that got flagged for having batteries, and the shipper would not ship them. Then ship them back to the manufacturer. Of course, Grumpy's both packages for this address happened to be flagged. Majority of people got their geosigners already started hooking them up. When I look today, both of my packages are still sitting in China because of the Chinese New Year's, which I read on a X post today that you're not even allowed to call it the Chinese holiday because that's racist. Like that's a joke, right? You have to call it the lunar holiday. So I don't want nobody to think I'm racist because I called it the Chinese holiday, which we've called it for the last 300 years. So because of that, my geoscience have not moved. So I've been depressed and upset. I had a buddy at work who got one of his. I told him to bring it to work today so I could show it off my YouTube tonight. Of course, he was running late. He had to bring his kid to school, so he didn't bring it. So after my bad day and then nearly having a heart attack at the gym today, I make my Diet Coke. My kids say, hey, you got something in the mail? I'm thinking there's more bills as usual. And sure enough, I got this package. And all of a sudden, your blues go away. I'm happy because I see a label from California, but underneath it, I can see all the Chinese symbols underneath it, if that's what that is. If not, I'll beg my pardon. But I haven't ordered no diet pills from overseas. You know, I thought that might have been why my address was. But underneath it, I can see flag. That's a joke. I don't want nobody taking anything seriously. So I'm assuming that this is one of my geosigners. And I think what it is probably one of my family members, because I'm the one that's going to install it. I just had them deliver it to my address, and I think that this is going to be. Now, if I open this up and this is some kind of jewelry from my wife, I'll be very upset. So I'm assuming that this is my I have one geosigner, like Christmas morning. I'm hyped up. Seriously. And my biggest part I was upset about is because everybody had them already. They were getting there. So why would I even do an unboxing video or anything like that? So I was getting upset that I was going to be the last person to get a geosigner. So as luck would have it, unless you know, somebody from Wingbits hooked me up, and if so, I thank them. I'm not saying that's what happened. They've never told me that's what happened. I don't know if they surprised me, or like I said, this is my sister's or something like that. I don't know, but here it is. I got it in. So now I get to take it apart instead of just watching people play with it on YouTube, and I can do the unboxing, and I am hyped. So that's why I got my hat on sideways, even though I'm about to fix it because it's squeezing the little bit of brain I got left. I don't know, but I am thinking about getting the neon sign for Bahama thing that says Grumpy. And maybe if somebody wants to sponsor, I'll get a neon sign for like Wingbits or Entropy or something like that. So I don't know why I'm showing this up. It's broken now. I don't know why I'm showing this up because almost everybody's got their geosigner for Wingbits already. But here it is. Tell you what, I still say it's smaller than what you would think compared to what some of the pictures are that we saw. But it's cool. I don't know why I'm showing this up. It's broken now. So for those who are here, if you don't mind, please hit the like button. You know I'm going to ask y'all 17 times. So we got our GPS antenna that everybody asked a bunch of questions for. Smaller than what you would think compared to what some pictures are that we saw. But it's cool. Scan the code to onboard or visit Wingbits. And so we got our GPS antenna. The Wingbits stickers and a little extension cord. I wish it was about 6 inches longer. That's what she said. And there it is. And then you hook up your satellite to it, your satellite receiver. Thanks for being an early adopter. That's pretty cool. They even got their own logo. So it ain't just a generic satellite antenna. It is actually a generic, it's got a logo on it. Tell you what, I'm gonna have videos to do. I got videos stacked up for the next couple of days trying to get back in the swing of it. So if y'all can see it, if there's enough light, thanks for being an early adopter, Wingbits. That's cool. And it's got the Wingbits logo on the top. So it's gonna screw on here. So I know I have discussed this in the past. For majority of my 14 setups, this is going to work fine. I think 2 of my okay, look, y'all saw the Wingbits thing, and opposite side. So it's going to screw on here. So I am the godfather of the golf. I know I have discussed this in the past until somebody tries to come step on me. But anyway, for majority of my setups, this is going to work fine. I am gonna have to find probably to like later tonight or tomorrow, since I'm thinking about it, which I'll probably forget later tonight. I do have to find an extension for this because at least two of my setups are on buildings. They're in the penthouse on the top. If you've seen my videos, I talked about this a number of times. Penthouse is just a concrete top room, top floor. And my equipment is set up right in the middle of the room, of course. And the antenna feed line goes outside, which I'm using LMR 400 because that's the least amount of loss. And I'm gonna need something longer than this to be able to get this outside. But at the frequencies that this uses, you have to worry about loss. So I know they've been talking about and having this little goofy competition, which is a little fun competition online on about how many satellites you can get and how many you need, what's the minimum you can get, and that kind of stuff like that. So getting delayed echo audio, which is a little fun competition online on about I don't know how many satellites you can get and how many you need, what's the minimum you can get, and that kind of stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know if that fixes it or not. I don't know. But look closely at the label on that device. It says Wingbits GNSS antenna. So yes, that is correct. Basically, it doesn't matter who this is for. Whatever is the closest one to me. Tomorrow, when I try to make a video, is which one's getting this first. And I was told that was and Mike or Axie, I still call him Axie from Wingbits, basically told me that get them all sent here, and they're not tied to any certain device until I actually pair them, install them, tether them, whatever you want to call it, to that device. So yes, and there is a secret barcode in here that tells me my secret. Scan the barcode to onboard or visit Wingbits setup. So yeah, so Wingbits was supposed to push out a update. I saw that in the Discord today. Yesterday they said it would be 24 hours, but as of today, it looked like they were still either pushing it out, or I don't know if they finished it. I haven't looked at the Discord. No, that's 2 or 3 hours. But there was at first they started telling everybody don't install it till February 1st. So I go and tell everybody on our Wingbits Facebook page, on my Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and everywhere else, hey, don't install this till February 1st. And then I go on a Discord yesterday, an hour later, and they're telling everybody, if you want to try it here, run this in script and you can do it. And I'm like, well, y'all make me look like a fool. Because, I had some people come and say, they're letting people do it now. I'm like, okay, thanks for making me look like a fool, guys. Appreciate it. Trying to help y'all out. But, hey, at least they got to figure out if there was any problems. But it looks like everything, they got the new little script, which is cool. And you can see, the little display on, if everything's hooked up right and everything. I installed during the beta, I installed that script just to make sure everything worked right and correct, and I did, and everything worked fine. But I haven't had a chance to play with the new little screen or whatever you get that tells you all the different stuff about your install, if everything's working correctly or not. Necro Sorrow 710 asks, did they change the hex sizes or something? Unless I'm looking at the different map than a few weeks ago. No, the hexes are still the same. It's a hex 3 resolution for rewards, which are the bigger ones, which will, cover up, a chunk of the state almost. And there's a hex 6 for owners. So make sure you're swapping in between that. You might be clicked on one and not the other one, but there's a rewards hex and the owner's hex. So I don't think they did that. Look closely on the label for points. All I know was that there was supposed to be Oh no, that's not it. That's not it. I had a birdie tell me that, was it maybe in the actual miners itself that you're buying, the WB 200 and 300s. Somebody on the AMA said something about a special coupon in it to get a prize. Does anybody know anything about that? I know I'm looking over here while I'm trying to talk to y'all. So only 5% of all their packages, if y'all caught my beginning about some people like mine, both of mine, got flagged for batteries and had to be sent back. Only 5% of that, and only 12 were returned as unsolvable and had to be reshipped. And of course, I was the one. The rest got released. So, trying to see. There was some kind of code. Does anybody know? I wanted to announce that they had this thing because I'd like to pass that on. But supposedly one of the AMAs, they announced that the guy from GeoNet announced a surprise that's going to be. Oh, here it is. During the stage, Mike mentioned that there was something about a 10,000 Geo token coupon included in some random device boxes. But the person who texted me said he hadn't heard anything about it till now. Have I heard anything? They were trying to find out the details. So I don't know if anybody heard it or not, but 10,000 Geo tokens is not anything to laugh at. That's a pretty good prize for somebody who's got a WB 200 or MGW 310 coming. I know those weren't, for a while, those kind of cooled off a little bit at the beginning of January. Then all of a sudden my code just started going crazy again. And then now it's kind of calmed down a little bit. Just so I can trigger somebody. Here's my code. If anybody wants a Geo device, a WingBits or a GeoNet device, because I did a short tonight, but I'm not gonna release it to the marks. I released 2 shorts today, so you know what, YouTube, I played a game of extending it out. But it was me actually hitting a new accomplishment in Silencio, because in the Silencio you have people who are attacking influencers, saying the only reason we do these projects is for the referral codes, and we don't work the projects themselves. So you know me and my great personality, I had to rub it in and show off the fact that I got this pretty good accomplishment, 25,000 bonus tokens because of my accomplishment. So I had to do a short on it just to rub it in people's face. Just like in the Discord, people complain about the only reason I push this kind of stuff is because of my code. No, don't get me wrong. I ain't gonna sit in line and tell you that the little bonus money I get is bad. I'm not gonna complain about that either. But it's also saving y'all 10%, which is $100 off the combined device. So you didn't specify if it was a GeoNet only unit or if it included the 2 devices. They didn't tell me. Like I am reading to y'all the PM I got from somebody who listened to the AMA that they was on January 16th or 15th or something like that. It was an AMA. I'm sure it might be recorded somewhere. I'm sure if Axie, Mike, or whatever is listening, he'll correct me shortly, because he's famous for correcting me 30 seconds after I put a video out if I'd say anything wrong. And we joke about it. He's cool as hell. He's helped me out with a lot of stuff, so it's a joke. But the message I got from somebody said they had listened to the stage that they had around the 15th or 16th of January. It was a stage between WingBits and GeoNet. I think HiFix might have been involved. I missed it. I was at work. And it basically says, by the way, during the stage, Mike, who I think is the guy from GeoNet, mentioned that there was something about a 10,000 Geo token coupon included in some random device boxes. This person hadn't heard anything about it until that AMA. He wanted to know if I knew any details about it. That's all it is. Random device boxes. So it's going to be either WB200s or MGW310s. But, just out of curiosity, because my college math fails me as usual. So it's $3,400 at today's price. 3,400 US dollars. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good reward for buying one of these devices. And who knows how many tokens it is, how many coupons they got. I don't know. I've never got any kind of response from anybody on the full details of it. But again, if it's mentioned during the AMA, it's kind of official. So maybe I need to follow up on top of everything else I got to follow up on. I had a paper of all the stuff I need to be following up on. But that's a pretty cool reward. Steven, I'm going to tell you, I actually took, if you saw my video, I did a video last Sunday of me doing the same thing in the next town over. Where I live at is very rural. So we have very few venues, and I've hit them already. See, before the update a while back, you could keep hitting those venues and get decent rewards. Now, there's no reason to do a venue after it's been hit once. It's 15 tokens, which I don't agree with either, because sound readings fluctuate at venues. During peak customer times at a venue, it's going to be louder. At 10 a.m. when it's just opening, it's going to be quieter. To me, they shouldn't be so restrictive on first-time Silencio readings at venues. But the next town over, apparently nobody around here is doing Silencio. Next town over, I hit Silencio. I was hitting 375 go. If y'all saw my short I put out earlier today, I got a code for that if y'all want some bonus stuff for that. Nobody has hit those hexes at all. But yeah, I went into like all these venues. I was hitting venue. My issue is the stupid ads. At one point, Silencio, I know I saw this because I was telling people about it. They said if you were going to stake so many Silencio tokens or you were going to do something, you wouldn't have to see these ads anymore. Well, I staked my Silencio tokens, all of them, everything I got in the airdrop, which was 500,000 or something like that. I don't know. And I'm still getting ads. So when you're trying to hit these venues and you're walking around these malls that have 5 and 6, 7 venues back to back to back as you're walking around, you got to sit there for 90 seconds, sometimes 120 seconds, waiting for these ads to finish because you want the bonus, because now there's a 100x bonus sometimes. So who fought it asked, is that for Geo 310 also? The way he makes it sound is it's gonna be either for the WB 200, which is strictly the Wingbit station, or the 310. Those two. I wouldn't think they're doing it for the Geo station, because the Geo stations have been for sale for a while now. So, what, almost a year. While I'm not a OG GeoNet person, I have been in that project for probably 7 to 8 months. And it's, again, one of the more reliable. It's a cool project. I think I'm making, last time I checked, $8 or $9 a day. And what I like about GeoDut is that, even though it's going to call me a liar right now, the price has been actually pretty darn good. Let's see if I can pull it up. I hate I hate doing lives because it's so hard to. GeoNet's doing pretty good. This is for the month. It's up 45% a month. You start looking at some of these other tokens, it's been kind of struggling. Even for the past week where we've had some stuff going down a little bit, it was at 35 cents and basically 35 cents now. So you can't complain about this at all. When you look at it for the month, we were at 23 cents, 24 cents a month ago. So it's one of the few tokens that's up. Somebody else asked me to look at Helium. And Helium has had kind of a little resurgence that we were right here in the middle, and they're thinking because we now have moved on from the IoT and mobile straight back to H&T that's what's causing this resurgence. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I know a lot of people who follow me. We all started in helium. I still have 17 devices going. I wish we would stay with helium the whole time. I don't stake, so I didn't even get a chance to vote. And we've always known with helium is who has the most points and who has the most tokens staked was always carried so much weight in votes. It didn't matter if we voted or not. I'd love to see helium get back to $20, $25. I don't think it'll ever get to 40 and 50 again, but I'd love to see it get, this is another video I'm supposed to be doing about the difference between tokens and mining versus the project itself. And I still think helium has a viable network. There's a lot of people using that network. So, but the mining sucks. When you allow 900,000 miners and you can allow 20 people to put 20 miners in one hex, it does suck. So the one thing that is depressing is for the first time today when I refreshed my Helium app. For those who don't know, there's a Helium app update on iOS and Android for you to download so that you can get the updated app. So now when you try to get your tokens from your devices, you will now see HNT and not IoT. And it's a little more depressing. I'm not going to lie to you. It was one thing when I was getting 7,000 and 8,000 IoT when I downloaded. Now I'm getting 1 HNT. You probably can't see that. Earlier I got 0.75 HNT. It's cool to rather see. I'd rather see me getting 3,000 and 4,000 and 6,000 IoT. So, Necro, so make sure you update your app. I had to update my app because somebody told me the same thing, and both I have 2 phones. Both of them have my Helium wallet on it, and I had to update both of them. There was an app update that came out, Android and iOS. So what else? Y'all make sure you hit the like button for me. I don't know what else is going on. Entropy had a big announcement. Y'all know if anybody who follows Entropy at all, Entropy is my DEPIN meme miner, if you want to call it that, on our ESP device. And I found it there's nobody that's kind of in the middle. Either you love it, they hate it. Normally it's the people who got bitten by the second law that don't like it for some reason, but hey, that's just the rules. Their rules are, they got bigger plans for Entropy. They have different, I won't call it levels, different versions, bigger plans. They bought out, or they bought, whatever you want to call it, the Catalina whales, and they created the POW token, or POW, POW. I know they say POW. Listening to the X spaces the other day, and everybody was POW. I thought I was in a shootout at one point. But some people, I told them, you got to hold on to it. Look, I know it's tempting. You're making $25 a day, $24 a day. Last I checked, we're making about $15 or $16 a day, and that's with the token way down like it is now. Tell you, I keep setting buys up for Entropy, and as it lower than what the price is, and I'm buying it. I'm not telling anybody else to buy. There's nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm just telling y'all what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. Don't follow me. Isn't that what what's his name says all the time on YouTube? So, Alex Becker, I'm an idiot. I'm going to get wrecked. Don't follow me in any of these trades. And then goes to show you all the trades he's doing. Entropy has had a little bit of pullback, if you want to call it that. But I'm going to tell you, I set up buys down here, and a lot of it's been my IoT. Convert it into USDC, collect $20, $25, $30, $35, $40, $50 of it, or when I got some tokens from some other projects or something like that, or made some profit in like Trump coin or something like that, I go to the Jupiter app or exchange, whatever you want to call it, DEX, whatever you want to call it. And you can set up sales, whatever you want to call it. You know, kind of like you would do on the big exchanges. And you set your little price. So, you know, up here when it was 8, I set it for $69.99 and it triggers. And then when it was up here at and it came back up or whatever it did, I set it again for like 7 and then bought again. And I was doing that the whole way down. So, you know, I have 3 different wallets of Entropy. And one wallet is strictly purchasing. So in case I ever want to sell, I can sell and not trigger the price. My other 2, I have never sold Entropy out of my miners. And one of them burns constantly. One of them is just burning. So Entropy's got some big plans, but again, they don't want you to sell. And they're trying to build their project up. And they feel that if you try to sell, that you're just trying to jeopardize the project as they're trying to work on doing other stuff. If you can't handle that, the project's not for you. You're making $15 a day. You're going to have to just be patient. Or at one time, we were making $25 and $30 a day. So I think all the ENT whales left. I'm not buying enough ENT. I'm buying enough ENT, trust me. I'm buying. I got, you know, one time Solana was my biggest holding because I bought so much Solana at 8, 10, 12, $13. When you see the price of it now, that was my biggest holding. But I bet if I moved all my Entropy over to Exodus, where it ranks all my holdings, I think Entropy is very close to passing up Solana. Maybe not. But I mean, as I said, as I get more rewards from something, you know, I was even able to sell a little bit of DeFi a while back. I bought Entropy with it. So I think the only thing I didn't do was there were several people who, when they got their grass drops from grass, they bought Entropy. I didn't mess with my grass. I took a little bit out when I was on a hunting trip, and the rest of my grass is staked on BitHarvest. So, you know, it's dipped like this before. There's always some whale or two that comes in and buys it. I'm not sweating it because I'm not selling it anytime soon. You know, this is just like all these other projects. People complaining about Silencio. Let's see what Silencio is doing. I'm doing a video right now on people that are spoiled, and Silencio's taking a you know what whipping. But I'm just, you know, people are panicking because of this price dip. This project's been out for a week. I don't know if it's even been a week yet. The 24th, and people are losing their minds over this. Look, I got almost $1,000 in this airdrop for what I've been hitting. I had somebody contact me today who made, I don't want to lie to you, but he made an absolute killing, and he was higher ranked than me, but he's also was in this project way longer than me. So let me see what he made. $20,000. So look, Silencio's price is low. I don't doubt that. I'm not stupid. You didn't pay anything to get into this, but people are panicking on what they're going to be rewarded now. And the problem with Silencio is we don't know because you got an airdrop. And now they swap to the system, which some people don't like it. Me, I like it because it's different. Y'all know I can find negative on anything, but with Silencio now, one token that you get or point or whatever you get while you're running the app is now equal to 1 raffle ticket. And depending on your ranking, like what league you're in, the Ruby League or the Emerald League, or me, I'm in Diamond. Well, in Diamond, your raffle tickets can be worth anywhere from minimum of 1 to 1 million Silencio tokens. So if you still run the app, you're guaranteed at least 1 Silencio token for every raffle ticket. And you're getting, 100 raffle tickets every time you take a reading or something, depending on where you're at, if it's new hexes, new venues. So at the very least, you're getting 100 Silencio. But if the raffle tickets are worth anywhere from 1 to 1 million, you got to think majority of them are going to be worth more than 1 token. So you could be getting 5 or 10 or 15 tokens for Silencio per raffle ticket. So you can't go and sit there and say this price is so horrible that this project's worthless because until March 1st comes. Now, don't get me wrong. Come March 1st, there's something wrong with the raffle ticket. So everybody gets a raffle ticket worth one and the price is lower. Then sure, okay, I might join y'all. But you run this when you're sitting at a restaurant or when you're walking around. Hey, I need to walk. I'm dying at the gym. We can't write this project off. Now, Sword Chain is a different subject because Sword Chain went and crippled their rewards. And I understand you don't want to pay us and don't want it to be linked up while it's parked. Okay, that's fine. But you're going to have to increase what we do driving because I've made like 15 or 20 Sword Chain tokens in 2 or 3 days. That's horrible. That's horrible. I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling y'all that either. It's an hour and a half, 2 hour round trip, maybe, for me going to work and going to lunch. It's not even worth me running that project. And I have been a very big proponent. But at 1 cent a piece, that's not good with me only getting, even if I'm getting 20 tokens, I'm making 20 cents a day. If that. I'm telling you, I'm not making 20. So my point with them is, you don't want to pay us while we are parked. I understand that. Even though they're still paying you, so nobody can say you're gaming. But you can't sit there and tell me that you can't increase rewards while driving. Because sooner or later, people ain't going to go through the trouble. Demo is one thing. That's why I was talking to Tech Hustler earlier. Me and Tech Hustler talk, and we were talking about Demo and trying to balance out the rewards versus the ease of using it. My wife's in the process of getting another vehicle. We had to give her older vehicle to my daughter. So in the process of finding something halfway decent for my wife. We're not buying Lambos. I got 2 kids in high school. Trust me. That's what we're trying to figure out, how the hell we're going to pay for a third vehicle. But I'm trying to decide, do I get a demo for it? Because it's so easy that once you tether it the first time, you never have to touch it again. So it is easy. But I also know it's going to take me literally, at this price, 400 days to ROI. Now you hope during the bull market it goes up. And that's what me and him were discussing. Do you take that chance? I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. So Silencio has probably added more years to people's lives by making them walk around, and he made something out of it. And they are asking for a refund. What are you refunding? It's a free project. Listen, I contradict. I'll be the first one to tell y'all I contradict myself a lot. People call me out for it. I don't care. I can sit here and complain about Nadix because I still can't figure out what the hell, and I can't find anybody or find anywhere to tell me what I even made last month in Nadix. But the month before that, even though I drove my butt off during hunting season, 2.5 hours to my hunting camp and back several times in that month, I didn't make hardly anything. I made like 20 cents a day when you average it out. It was horrible. For the amount of trouble it takes to tether it and do all this stuff, get it running or whatever, hook it up or in your car, whatever. It was pain in the butt. And I've always said passive income still has to have some kind of income in it. I can sit there and complain about that and then tell y'all, oh, don't worry about Silencio, just keep running it. I contradict myself a lot. Sword Chain is the same thing. I'm trying to give Sword Chain a chance. It is pain in the butt to have to go in that car every day and make sure it's tethered. Then while you're driving, I'm driving 2 hours. I'm paranoid because sometimes it don't stay connected. And then sure enough, you find out for the last 30 minutes that the dang thing came disconnected from tethering because either it updated or something else happened or the whole app crashed in the background. It ain't worth all that. I don't know, man. And then you try to bring this up in the Discord, and then you get attacked by the cheerleaders because they're like, they don't run it, don't do this. Like, okay, well, you'll never solve your problems then. Projects sinking themselves. I completely agree. You have, but when all you have Jay Styles in that, and tell me if y'all disagree, but when all the Discord is allowed to be as cheerleaders and rah-rah cheerleaders that this is the greatest project, and if anybody says anything negative, so that maybe they can correct it and hear from the masses, they get attacked for it. So why would anybody bring up anything? So the people who are in charge of that project or run that project are looking at Discord and see nothing but happy people. They're going to think there's nothing wrong with it until eventually they see in that we don't have the same amount of data coming in. I wonder why. You know, I don't know. Sword Chain and Nadix, while I was very hyped up, if y'all watched my videos every Monday for the last year, literally year, y'all know I was high on both those projects, and I'm very worried about both of them. Nadix came out with some new thing today or yesterday, made an announcement. They also told us that, hey, just because your rewards are down right now, just be patient because we got V2V awards coming, vehicle to vehicle or something like that. So that'll start giving you bonuses. Okay, so we became patient. And then they sneak in this announcement that said, but by the way, unless you buy their new device or whatever it is, you're not going to get those rewards. So we bought the first device to support y'all back in beta a year ago, and now we're not going to get those added bonuses? Yeah, man, that's junk. Jay Styles, I noticed that same thing. Wi-Fi used to be solid for me. Then they came out with the Bluetooth thing. Bluetooth was supposed to be better and more solid. So I was like, okay, for my viewers, I'll try out the Bluetooth so I can report back. That was the same weekend I went to Missouri. I was driving back from Missouri for hunting. It was an 8-hour trip. The Bluetooth wouldn't stay connected. It literally would stay connected for 30, 40 minutes. I would check on it 30, 40 minutes later. It had been disconnected for 20 minutes. And then when I opened the app, 5, 10 seconds later, it connect back in Bluetooth. Okay, I'd watch it. And while it was open, it would stay. But once it closed, 20, 30 minutes later, I would check it. Sure enough, it was disconnected. But as soon as you open it, it would then go and then say connected. You could see the little light blinking that it wasn't connected. So I'm like, screw this. And then I also tested that when you get out the car, to go use the bathroom somewhere, go in the store and get some snacks, something like that, a box of sweet tarts. When you come back in, Bluetooth didn't automatically connect, which they said it should have did. It didn't. I even had the Bluetooth app open on my phone to see if it would connect. It didn't connect. So I said, screw that. So then for the final 3 or 4 hours, I ran those cellular again, or Wi-Fi tether, whatever you want to call it, and it never disconnected. I've ran it ever since then. They said they sent the update to it. A couple of days later, I tried to update. I had the same issue with Bluetooth. Never screwed with it again. Wi-Fi always stayed. When I got in my car, it's a routine that I connect my Nadix, I connect my Silencio, my Sword Chain, and it was just and it would stay connected the whole way to work, or if I was driving 2 hours up to my hunting camp, it would stay connected. And now, recently, since that update, like you're saying, I've noticed the Wi-Fi disconnected. I never went back to try the Bluetooth. Honestly, the rewards have been so bad, I didn't fight with it. And that's what I think the problem's going to be, what I was saying earlier, is I'm not going to fight with this project if it don't stay connected when I'm making literally 10 cents a day if I don't go cruise around. If I'm driving back and forth to work, I'm making 10 cents. Screw that. I thought healing was bad. Oh. Influx, what I understand and what I have read in some of these forums and stuff about Demo or Discords or whatever you want to call it, there's no buying pressure as far what is the buying pressure of Demo? And that opens up a whole nother subject on almost any of these projects. What Joe Blow citizen wants to go on KuCoin and buy into DEPIN projects nowadays? Helium did kick it off, and I understand that, but what Joe Blow is going into KuCoin to buy Silencio? I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that. Look, I'll be that honest with you. I'm worried about that with WingBits. I'm worried about that with GeoNet. I'm worried about that with all of them. It's one thing to buy some of these layer 0 coins and stuff like that, Solana, because they got the projects behind it. And some of these really, really small macro coins and stuff like that, because people are trying to get that big, return. But I worry about what's the carrot for Joe Blow citizen that's going to go on KuCoin or Binance and buy some of these tokens. Some of these projects, like Wingbits and stuff, are saying, hey, the money we're bringing in from our customers, our buying customers or investors, we're putting that into liquidity. Hey, even WeatherXM did that. WeatherXM took, I forget what, don't quote me on it, $40,000, whatever it was, a pretty big amount of money. It said for the next 40 days, we're injecting this Ethereum, whatever it was, into liquidity, into our token. And it helped. And at one point, there was another project that did it too. Can't remember what it was. But my point is, I've asked Wingbits that. Helium at one point was supposed to be buying their data credits or with the data credits or something like that, then burning it. And supposedly that was part of it. From what I'm told, Demo's not doing that. Now, I can be wrong. I'm just telling you what I've read. And that's what the complaint was, is there's no buying pressure. There's no liquidity being added. They're not taking the money from people buying their data, if they even have buying customers or anything. You know, people complained over and over or criticized Wingbits that there was no chance that they were going to make it because who wants to buy Wingbits data when they can get it for free, which is completely incorrect. I was on a live, and I don't want to say his name, but I was on a YouTube live for somebody else, and a guy who used to be even in Entropy and stuff and got booted out of that one. But, you know, he's cool. We've talked before, but he sat there and wanted to knock Wingbits, saying, you know, I don't see how people think Wingbits is going to work because it ain't going to work because you can get that data for free. You're right. Me and John Doe and Jane Doe can take Flight Tracker, download it on our phones, and we can see where a mom, dad, brother, sister, girlfriend, wife and girlfriend on the same plane. Oh my God. We can see where their planes are. For us, that's free. But any company that wants to use that API or that data, they're paying FlightAware for that. And it's already been announced more than once. Wingbits already has paying customers. They're using it as a secondary feed for right now until Wingbits can get more stations. But they already have paying customers. So that whole theory that certain people are saying, that FUD that people are saying about Wingbits can't get buying customers because they can get that for free, that's thrown out the window already. And Wingbits has said, because I've asked in the AMA, they're going to take some of that money. I don't know if there's a certain percentage set aside or, hey, they got to pay off whatever. But they're taking some of that money and putting it into liquidity into their token. So, Geo's the only project going. I have to. Who fought it must watch my videos on Monday because I say it all the time. Who fought? GeoNet is usually reliably, the token is either the same like it is right now or going up when everybody else is going down 10, 20%. You know, the only reason I don't get more upset about Silencio and some of these other ones is because I didn't pay to get into it. So, y'all make sure you hit the like button, please. Help me out. I thought Helium had customers. They might not have a lot, but I mean, surely they have Lime scooters, right? I mean, that's what I saw on their website. They had Lime scooters, and who was the other one? UPS or somebody that they lied that they had that was the beginning of their downfall. If you remember that was years. It feels like a century ago in DEPIN, but I remember that. I remember when that was revealed that Lime, that they lied about having on that Lime a business and stuff like that. That was the beginning of that downfall. But I mean, my point, but you still have Demo's a customer, WeatherXM's a customer. Yeah, people were tracking. Hey, we were looking at what I don't know how much I can say, and I don't want to get in trouble, but I was contacted by somebody who wanted a tracker for something because they were concerned about it getting stolen. And apparently bad guys know how to scan for cellular or Bluetooth trackers. But there have been reports of you can use like the Helium trackers, or if there's another company similar to that with that frequency, they're not scanning for that. So My point is, I contacted a company out of Texas who was selling a good amount, because he gave me customers that I can use as referrals, or I can contact referrals, that they're doing the same thing. Is you can't find, if you're scanning for a cellular tracker or Bluetooth tracker or AirPod or whatever the hell they are, the helium trackers don't show up. Now, I'm sure they got technology if they really wanted to, but my point is, that was customers of the helium. But they tell you the disclaimer: if your stuff gets stolen and there's no helium device around, you're screwed. Now, I think that's one thing Chirp was trying to solve, was that they were going to be more open to more manufacturers and all stuff like that. But in Louisiana, we got helium devices. Hell, I put 17 of them around South Louisiana, from Mississippi state line all the way to Lafayette. So, you go anywhere from the interstate to Gulf of Mexico, you covered with mine. But that's just mine. Apple trackers suck. Yes, I tell everybody that. Everybody thinks Apple trackers are the end all be all. And I'll never forget that 911 got a call because some lady was traveling from Florida to Texas, and her dog had to go to the bathroom bad. So she pulled over right on the interstate, and she lets a dog out. And normally the dog just stays right next to her and pees. Well, some 18-wheeler driver passes by, thinks it's cute that this dog is on the side of the road pee-peeing, and he honks the horn. Next thing you know, that dog's 2 counties over. We have parishes, 2 parishes over, through the woods. Well, she has, that's okay, I got an Apple tracker. Next thing you know, the Apple tracker ain't working. This lady stayed out, and then she had to be at an appointment first thing the next morning. So now she's crying because she don't want to leave her dog. She can't find, the Apple tracker don't work because the dogs ran too far out of range from her phone. Well, what good is that? I will say, though, for a while, I had several people interested in, because Helium was supposed to come out with a small dog tracker also that you can put on a leash. And I've asked several times what happened to that. The only ones I've ever seen were these ones that were literally like this big. That was bigger than the Chihuahua's neck. I don't know what ever happened to the little chip that Helium was supposed to come out with for dog trackers. But I know when I first got into Helium back in 2020, that was one of the big things. Couple different things. I'm sorry, the Gulf of America now. Don't get me started on that. Gulf of America. Lime and Goodyear. IoT makes $100 a day. Says who? Maybe total out of all the IoT devices put together on the network. Jay Styles. Listen, what happened in D.C. was a tragedy. I don't want to take any light away from that. It was a complete tragedy. There's a lot of people lost their lives. And I've seen that comment that you made several places today. And I just wholeheartedly disagree. And listen, you know me. Y'all know me. I am the godfather of the golf, and I am, it's a bit harvest. I am the Wingbits Gestapo, okay? So y'all know I am, look, I mean, I'm all giddy now. I've had a horrible day, and I'm all giddy because I got a Geosonic now. I'm a huge Wingbits fan. But I just disagree with that statement. A helicopter that's completely blacked out, going straight ahead, with a plane crossing in front of it who has clearance to come down with flashing lights on it. I don't think Wingbits or any other, I'm sure they got radar. All our tax dollars that pay for Black Hawk helicopters didn't have a radar on the thing. I don't think Wingbits saw that. People lost their lives. I don't want to say whose fault it is. I don't want to sit there and say it's because certain people were hired by traffic control or anything like that. When you just like a car almost, when you're driving straight ahead, how do you not see what's coming in front of you? I don't know. Look, I'm not a helicopter pilot. Never played one on TV. Didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night. So I'm not going to critique. People lost their lives. It's a horrible tragedy. They had kids on there, gymnastics team, teenagers, 14, 15, 16-year-old. It was a complete tragedy. I think everybody from the president on down needs to shut their mouth as far as it was this one's fault or this one's fault in the media. That's just my personal belief. Like, it upsets me because I have kids these kids' age in high school. These kids' age, I'd be pissed off like you wouldn't believe if I had people throwing these comments out about it was because the FAA hired these people. Like, you don't even know what happened yet. You haven't got a report yet. This person's fault. This person's fault. Helicopter's right there, going straight ahead. It ain't like they were somehow sideways or coming up on top of each other. That's all I gotta say. Enflux says we should be getting final tokenomics light paper any day from Wingbits. Can finally update my spreadsheets. Listen, I'm curious myself because it's been no secret. I don't want to say like I've been secretly talking in PMs because I've told you before, these guys don't tell me no secrets. You know, one time they made a joke with me and said, hey, we're giving you some secret tea. And I got all excited. And he told me the PM. And by the time I went look at the announcement page, they announced it already. So they were pulling my chain. They were joking with me. But just because I keep asking them. But Alex has said many times that he has talked, or Robin has said many times that he is planning on or was looking into changing the tokenomics and everything up a little bit. Hey, on the dashboard, every time you went to it, it said these tokenomics could be changed a little bit. I'm very curious to see. I know they were trying to kind of balance out to a point. You have some of these stations that were getting like if they're by themselves, I use the same one all the time. Let's see if I can find it real quick without losing y'all. The same station constantly that was getting like something over 1,000 tokens a day or something like that. It was absolutely stupid. Let's see if I can get to it. Oh, and like I said, I know that they are trying to. I lost it. I know they're trying to kind of balance it out. Like, they don't want to see these huge amounts for single stations, but listen, I fall on both sides of this. If you want me to take the effort to put this in a remote station, you got to dangle the carrot in front of me that it's going to be worth my while to set up a remote station. I'm probably going to have to put cellular on it. I'm probably going to have to take the risk of never seeing that device again. And, you know, it's absolutely crazy. So let's see if my boy got any competition yet. Oh, they got a second place here somewhere. So this guy right now is getting, with one station, he's getting the same amount. One time he was beating me. He's getting the same amount that I'm getting with 14 stations. One's offline, 13 stations. I can see how this is a little skewed in one direction. And then you have people complaining that they're going to go set up a station here and then complain that I'm getting 0.06 tokens. First of all, if you're only getting 2 hexes, you shouldn't be getting helped. This tells me you have a piss poor setup. Excuse my French, but that's what it is. I don't know. We in France. Now, if you have a good setup like this, where you're getting several hexes and you're only getting 1 token, I can see you getting helped a little bit. How you balance this out fairly, I don't know. You know, one thing that they talk about is people who live close to airports. So New Orleans International Airport is right here. This is the runways. Grumpy Station is here and here and here and here. I don't know who this is. I'm about to find out and smack some heads that somebody's going to come encroach in my territory like this. This is my buddy. Well, I'll tell you all, I had the 3 buddies. There is Lakefront Airport that will be getting a lot of celebrities coming in. This is when celebrities don't want to deal with the international airport. This is New Orleans Lakefront Airport. And then also the other airport where the kind of the area I work in is right here somewhere. Look, right here. And we have actually security working here for the Super Bowl because this is where some of the special people, important, famous people are coming in. But my point is, people who are close to this that can get air traffic on the ground level, or right above ground level, 1,000 feet or whatever it is, that is very important data that they can sell. How long are planes stuck on a tarmac? When it landed, how long did they have to sit there and taxi or come in before I was allowed to go to the gate? From what they've said in AMAs, that stuff's more important than the actual flying traffic data. So if you're able to capture that, excuse me, I gotta learn to quit drinking Diet Coke, all this Diet Coke before I come on live. But anyway, if you can get this kind of traffic, they will reward you. Now, I've told y'all several times that I have a buddy who has a 400-foot tower that we worked a very special deal on. And that 400-foot tower, because there's nothing but swamp around here, can see ground level. If I would show you that TAR 1090, I don't want to pull it up because it's going to take too long and I don't want all y'all to leave. But when you pull up that TAR 1090, you see all these planes on the ground over here. So it can't really go by mileage, because they were talking about that. Oh, if it's a certain mileage away and, 1 mile away, well, you can't do that because it's not fair. You could have somebody who lives right here with a piss poor setup. I hate to say calling that, but that's what it is. And not be able to get tarmac stuff because he's blocked by roofs because he has it in his mama's basement. We don't have basements down here. We were flood. Has it in their mama's closet. But way over here, which is like 17 miles, 16 miles as the crow flies, I might be able to get it. So, I know my point of all that, Raid, is I know that they are trying to finalize that tokenomics. I really thought, honestly, that was not going to be until I'm trying to get rid of my code so I don't get nobody upset. I really thought that was going to be after the geosigners. My big thing is I'm very curious to see. I'm curious if we even find out if they're going to just handle it silently. I don't want to handle it silently. I want to shame people. I want to find out is how many people get nixed with geosigners. I would love to sit here and say, I don't see anybody stupid enough to that's gaming, plug a geosigner in, but I'm willing to take that bet any day from anybody, any one of y'all. These idiots are going to still try to test that system and plug that geosigner in and then try to make some excuse. They're either going to cover the GPS with aluminum foil and say, I'm trying to get it and it ain't working, and try to extend it as long as they can. Or they're going to say they didn't get it in. Or they're going to say that the USB port's broken on their device. They're going to try to do something to excuse that fact that geosigner can't work to try to hold on to them tokens. I'm willing to bet whatever y'all want. I've learned I can't stand people who scam. I can't stand people who scam these projects. I'm watching Entropy, and I'm watching, I'm in Junk Coin now. I'm supposed to be having a phone conference with those people to learn more about it so I can do a video on Junk Coin. Y'all have talked me into Junk Coin, the people who are watching right now who have me the ones that tell me about it. But I'm watching them say did not. At first, they were just going to give them a suspension for a while. And after they got enough feedback, they said, we're not playing with cheaters. You cheat, you booted out the project. You're making, I don't know what you're making with junk, but like an Entropy at one time making $25, $30 a day, $15 a day. You're not happy with that. You feel like you got to cheat. And you get booted. I think people are going to continue to try to beat the system with the geosigners, and this team's not going to play that. We know that. This is about the most professional team, especially I'll tell you all the time on Discord. They don't allow none of them shenanigans. People were doing some jokes the other day and talking about, they didn't even mention another project. They were just trying to do some innuendos about a certain project. And Wingbit shut that down. They came on there and said, guys, y'all are teeter-tottering on that rule. Shut it down. Because that's how professional that Discord is. And then I go into another Discord, and it's like the Wild Wild West, and I got to wear a bulletproof vest. I was in Sword Chain getting completely slammed. until I had to contact the admin and say, are you going to do something with this dude that just keeps completely lying about everything with me? That's why I did that rant video about 2 weeks ago. And Sword Change is sitting there, admins are just sitting there allowing it to happen. Then eventually, after I contact them, they tell them, all right, you got to shut it down. And actually, people came to my defense who don't even follow me and said, dude, why are you airing all that here? Get the hell out. You know, how a project runs a Discord shows a lot. At least that's my 2 cents on that. $619 OTA says, I asked Silencio how many of the 700,000 users are gaming and I got a ban from the Discord. Hey, but it's the same thing with Sword Chain. I haven't seen them talk about the Silencio thing in their Discord, but over on Sword Chain, that's where I started getting beat up at, was when we quit getting tokens for being parked, which was okay. I can't stand the fact that I just told you, I hate people who game and I hate people who cheat and scam. And when I go in there to complain about these rewards and I start getting called a gamer and I start getting called a scammer because I was getting rewards for park, they allowed that. They told us from the testnet beginning a year ago that they had no problem with that. Technically, they still even pay you right now. The rewards are lower, but they still pay you now for being parked. So how is it gaming? So when I brought all that up, that's what started all that. And I brought up the fact that all you did was hurt the people who were doing it the right way. Hey, I'm parked. When I'm walking around a certain part of my house, it stays connected. When I walk to this side of the house where I'm doing almost every evening, doing videos and doing crypto trades and doing stuff like that, it ain't even connected anymore. But it's not, you're not going to sit and tell me I'm gaming. But what I brought up was that you hurt us who were doing it the right way. But they still had people, because I had people contacting me in Discord PM who said, if you want to know what the program is, I can tell you the program they're using for the GPS that makes it look like you're moving in your vehicle and you're getting full rewards. And when I brought it up in Discord, I got slammed. Apparently, it probably was the people who were cheating who were slamming me. But I had to tell a mod, like, are y'all going to allow this? There's emulators where they're not even hooking the Sword Chain devices up to a vehicle. They're hooking it up to an emulator, which the emulator can simulate whatever it wants. Engine running, it moving, paired with a GPS spoof thing. It makes it look like you're cruising town. Those people are still getting max rewards, and us who are doing it right and we're parked are getting crap rewards. What sense does that make? And then the admins didn't even want to discuss it, And then when I got slammed enough and I started contacting by PM and said, are y'all going to allow this? Is when they finally came in and said, we're taking steps to solve that. So now they're admitting that it's happening. And you got the fanboys in there saying, you're just spreading FUD. You're wrecking this project, Grumpy. That's why your name's that. It's true. $619, I'm sure you need, but just like tonight when I was completely not expecting my Geosigner. I'm so happy when I got my Geosigner, guys. I'm sitting here all depressed thinking all my Geosigners were in China celebrating the Chinese New Year in one lonely Geosigner by itself. I got 21 left coming to me, but one Geosigner makes it through. I can make a movie out of it. Through tough times, risking limb for limb, one Geosigner makes it through. 619. I didn't want to accuse him of that, but I had that same thought. But it isn't just that. It's the whole professionalism that you allow people to get slammed in your Discord, and when it's outright lies, and I even say how I can prove whatever, and it continues to allow to happen. Y'all make sure you hit your like button just because it just still shows up as one. Who far did you late, man? I kind of showed it already. I did an open box. I can't show you my the inside of the box on this side. But what I told everybody is it's not as obnoxiously big as what some people thought. So that's it. So even though my hands do look fat, you know, and you have your little cap for your, and it does have a little extension. And I even did the joke that I wish this was about 6 inches longer. And I said, you know, that's what she said, because I love The Office and Michael Scott. So that's my joke I say every day at work. So I wish it was 6 inches more, and that's what she said. And then you have your GPS antenna. And the GPS antenna is cool because it has a little Wingbits logo on it. It even has, thanks for being an early adopter. Plus 2 Robin points. Problem with Robin points is all you get is pineapple pizza, and I don't eat pineapple pizza. That's been an ongoing joke since the first AMA. So I get 2 Robin points. I got Robin points for something a while back. Robin point competition's got to be way better than that other goofy thing they're doing. I quit participating in that. I don't know if any of y'all, does any of y'all participate in that Admiral Captain's log thing or whatever it's called? Wingbits, Central Command, Ambassadors. Yeah, I couldn't do that no more. Yeah, I make YouTube videos and I couldn't do it no more. But hey, if it's getting the word out, it's getting the word out. I don't know. 619, y'all, are y'all involved in that? Do you do any of the Central Command stuff? I don't know. Who put the antenna box thing at our window? Oh, we put the antenna box thing on. I'm telling you right now, almost all mine, any devices I have indoor are going to be at a window. And there's people on Wingbits who are saying that they have permit windows. Don't quote me on it. I want to say somebody early in general, 619's in that, in look, I got so many Discords I'm trying to keep up with. I'm in so many projects that try to keep y'all up on news. I miss stuff. I'm not nowhere in the Wingbits general as much as I used to be. 619's, he might be able to answer this, but I know that they talked about the minimum amount of satellites that you have to cover. But there's like this ongoing competition of how many satellites you can pick up. It's like some people saying they get 20, some people are saying they got 22. I don't know. And they got busy. Oh, that's influx right there. Was that no? That's not the same influx, is it? Is this the same influx? Or is it just 2 different people in influx mining? I don't know. But he got his 6 geosigners. 120s, 120 dBMs in here more than anybody else. This is that new screen for those who were in here early, and I talked about how this new screen is. I have not played with this new screen at all yet. But you can see right here where it says how many satellites you can get and stuff like that. Somewhere up here, because this is about where we're talking about 24. Somewhere they talked about the minimum amount of satellites you need to cover to get. Oh, right here. Is there a minimum number of satellites that has to be seen? Max says 5. So I'm really thinking if people are getting 24 to 30 satellites while it's outside, you should be able to get 5 from a window. I'm hoping to get 5 from a window. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The roof, I'm probably gonna try to even do it from the inside and just see what I get, because my Motorola radios I program have GPS tracking on them, and even when they're inside a building, kind of close to the outside wall, I'm still getting GPS signal from them when people are walking around. I can track those radios. So what I'm hoping is that very close to a window or a wall might still be able to get it. That's what I'm going to try. I'm not saying that that's okay. I'm just telling you what Grumpy's going to try. A lot of them going to be outside. So we'll see. We'll see. Doesn't it use the Geo network? That's the first I've heard of is using Geo network. I don't think so. I think it's, I mean, I don't know, because now you're gonna make me think, because I know part of the whole GeoPulse thing was repeating GNS signals. So, I guess maybe if you have a GeoPulse close to it, but I think it's coming off the regular satellites, like regular GPS, like in your car and everything else. But some areas ain't gonna have a GeoNet device around it. So another thing is, I did bring this up for those of y'all who are in third-party softwares. I actually have right here, pointing, y'all can't see it. I have a BitHarvest Studio device that I'm in the middle of setting up right now. I had to stop while I was getting ready for this. And also Crank, another third-party project that you can, if you had a DIY Wingbits license for, you can set it up. Wingbits has been in contact with them and given them all the information they needed. And I'm sure they're both working on, I can't speak for Crank because, I don't really talk to those guys, not to have anything against them. I just never ran them before. I know for a fact I spoke to BitHarvest earlier because I was talking to them about this device. And I asked them, they were just waiting for their geosonars to come in to do some testing, but they already had the script and everything set up inside the device. They were going to be, once they know for a fact it's going to work correctly, they were going to send out a update. So that would be, if any of y'all are running BitHarvest, multi-mining 6 or 7 different projects, and that kind of stuff like that. So again, if you have a third party, you don't have to worry about that issue. Other than that, I don't know what else is going on. Who fought us talking about Nubla and SkyX? I'm glad you told me that, because I came this close to buying a Nubla device, and I know I really don't want to slam these people while I'm sitting up here, but why not? There's been nothing but complaints about them. You go look in their Discord. You have YouTubers have to come out and give videos on how to reset the device. You even go to Mokin's website and people will complain about it. They had to make excuses. They're supposed to be giving you data input of the environment. You remember, I'm involved in emergency management. Part of it is weather. I have weather stations set up. I have Davis weather stations set up. I have a Davis weather station in my backyard that survived Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Isaac, Hurricane Ida, the hurricane we had last year. Survived them all. 100-mile-an-hour plus mile-an-hour winds. Measured it all. One even took a fall 20 feet down, bounced off the ground. A little rain cup came up, put the rain cup back on, and it's back operating again. Part of that also is wind chill. They want to know what the wind chill is for the environment. The Nubla devices, there's all kinds of report of their little whirly bird thing on top, the anemometer, if that's what's called, freezing. And they're making excuses that it's no problem because it's measuring everything else. It is a problem, because to get the wind chill, what do you need? What's the key word of the word wind chill? Wind. Now I'm going to tell you, we had 9 inches of snow. We had freezing rain at first that came down. Rain. So therefore it freezes. And therefore everything's frozen. Then you have snow. And it was windy. And you know what my Davis weather station did? 20-mile-an-hour winds. So, no, it's not good that the Nubla station's got freezing wind vanes on top. Oh, it'll just tell us everything else that we need. No, it ain't, because part of like that. That's the kind of stuff that makes me, like y'all talked about earlier, about stuff that makes you question certain projects. When you think that data is okay, that makes me question a lot of things. When there's so many people having to take apart their $300 device to reset it, that worries me. So I'm glad that Hoof Audit told me that the Nubula and SkyX are different because they looked kind of similar. And 619 hit it on the head. I wish I could highlight it. They all suck. I had my weather XM station and I put it together. And as I'm putting it together on the tower, and I'm trying not to fall off the tower and die, the dang thing, plastic's coming apart in my hands. I had to snap it all back together. Now, I did doubt if it would even handle a hurricane. We had a hurricane that came through. I did a video on it, and it survived. But we also had several inches of rain and flooding. Again, I did a video to show you all the flooding. And I did on the video, you can see my weather XM station hauling butt. And it's storming because my idiot self, because I want a video so bad, standing out in the storming rain. And then I'll show you all the weather XM station that says 0 precipitation, 0 rain. Now, all of a sudden it started measuring rain again. So you can't count on that. Look, that Davis weather station I'll tell you about, I have 3 of them at work. When the state gave me a grant for it to set up weather stations around our parish, different points, north, south, east of our parish, I bought Davis weather stations with them. All 3 of them are fully functioning still through Hurricane Ida with 100-mile-an-hour, 85-mile sustained winds. The eye wall stopped on top of my parish and took a break, ate some gumbo and some andouille sausage for an hour and a half. It just sat there. It wasn't supposed to, but it just did. Tore up my house, tore up all kinds of stuff. My Davis weather stations took a licking and kept on going. I don't think weather XM, I don't know about Nubla or not, but the fact of the Nubla thing, the amount of reports of getting it, I still wanted to get one just so I can bring it to y'all, but I'm glad I didn't. Nick Caroso wants to bring up fries. I'm not. I can't. It's getting too late. I can't do a fry because you're going to have 7 people in here say how Fry screwed him over and it's horrible. And you're going to have somebody come in there and say how he's with the new Fry and he's making a gazillion dollars a day. I'm not touching. I'm not. But to yours, the difference is I understand where you're coming from. I don't doubt that. But the thing about it is while Fry's trying to use some repurposed HP stuff out the gutter, out the trash pile, some HP or Lenovo tiny computers, which we've used those at work, so I know how quality those are. They're just taking those and putting their own little firmware on them, software, whatever you want to call it, and OS, and shipping them right back to you. Wingbits had a spec that they came up with and got HiFix to build a device to their spec. And that also came through from customers who are doing business who wanted a standard and know that even me, who has 14 stations just for me, plus my family members, plus my friends, we had all kinds of different stations. Pi OS from a Pi, Rock Pies, which is a completely different OS, which was trash with helium and trash with everything else I've tried to run on them. It's the only ones that I have problems with. Max has to help me out. You can put it on an old PC. There's so many different variables, different SDRs, just different things. Their potential customers wanted the standard, wanted it more, I don't know if you want to say rugged, but they just wanted the more standard that they knew, maybe more reliable, if you want to call it that. So that came from their customers that they didn't really care too much for this do-it-yourself station. They wanted to come from these certain specs. So that's why Wingbits had to come up with their own deal. It's going to have the satellite included in, so you don't have to worry about geosigners and different things like that. What else, guys, gals? In the cases, any gals here? Tell you, I resurrect. 619 earlier said I got to upgrade my OG helium that hasn't been offline in 3 years to Bit Harvest. So you can make me unplug this. For those who have followed my story over and over and over again, in 2020, we wanted to get in helium and you couldn't get stations, but we knew what the people were making. So me and two buddies put our money together and we bought one station on eBay for $5,000. And this is that station. It says a rack hotspot miner. I don't know if you call this a version 1, but on the side, it's called a WizGate rack. The miles are rack 7248, I think. But it's different. It's different than the black racks that came out in the MTD golds and all that. It was different. And $5,000. And my wife to this day probably still doesn't know because she don't watch my YouTube videos. When we had it set up, this was also, the token was only $12 to $14 at the time, maybe. We ROI'd in 17 days on $5,000. 17 days. There was only about 15, 20,000, maybe at the most when we first, 15, 18,000. It didn't even hit 20,000 stations yet. Of course, we were the only one in our hex, but New Orleans had a couple of different stations already. And by the time the token hit $40, we thought we were all rich. Where we screwed up was we just kept buying more stations. At one time, we had like 20 or 30 stations. But, and then you splitting it with three buddies. I had an Excel sheet, and every month, I kept up with how much each of us were getting. It was a little tedious, but I also say during Hurricane Ida, if y'all could imagine having you and your family just tomorrow picking up and having to go on a vacation for a week at a hotel with no notice and feed your family and everything. We had to do that for Hurricane Ida. My family wasn't staying here. I had to work. So you had to go to Texas for a week for your kids and your family to survive. Because my house got screwed up. And if it wasn't for helium, I wouldn't have had that money. I'm in emergency response. I don't make that kind of salary. My wife's a teacher. We don't have that concept. We don't have things like emergency funds. Dave Ramsey, I laugh at him. Emergency funds. What the hell is an emergency fund? Emergency fund is when I go to the emergency room and I got to pay an ER bill. If it wasn't for helium, I don't know what I would have did. Helium paid for my family to stay at that hotel for a week, helped with the food, helped with gas, and stuff to make their life comfortable. And it was helium. And that's why one reason, and I know it wasn't like personally helium was giving me that money, but again, if it wasn't for that project at that time, I don't know what the hell I would have did. So I'm a little partial to helium. That's why I still say I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. Helium is a project that has been. They could write a book on how to piss poor manage a DEPIN project, and to this day, they still, to this day, piss poor managed. I don't know. I don't know how y'all else you want to look at it. The way they handled people who were selling devices, and there was nothing wrong. Helium had nothing wrong with them. Like 619 said, the fact that you could go buy devices and never get them, that's something wrong with that. People who got Bobcats eventually, finally, I don't know if it's a couple of months ago, whatever, but Bobcat doesn't have no more onboard credits left. So people finally got their helium device, and now there's no more onboard credits, so they can't onboard them because you didn't have your onboard credit was part of your purchase. And that manufacturer paid the onboard credits to helium so that you wouldn't have to pay that. And then you finally get your device after waiting a year or two, and you find out there's no onboard credits left. And that device, and they're not even answering emails no more, so you can't even get with them to even try to pay it yourself. I mean, 619 knows way more about all that than I do, because that's how I knew him through all them groups, years ago. But, OG white and black at home. MNT. My off grid racket. My friends and 5 hours collecting dust. Like I said, look, by themselves, I wouldn't still be in the project. I still have out of 30. That shows the quality of them, especially the rock. I mean, I would say 8 to 10 of them. Nah, maybe not 10, but 7 to 8 of them were rock pies. Every single rock pie I got, I can't remember. I don't want to lie to you. It would either not, it would beacon, and if it beaconed, nobody responded to it, or it wouldn't receive other manufacturers' beacons. It was one or the other. And I was doing tickets after tickets. That's when I first learned what scams were on Discord, because I would complain about it on Discord. And the first time you started getting all these idiots, again, this was 2021. We're from Rock Pie. We're here to help you. If you give us your 12-word password, get the fuck out of here. That's how I first learned about scammers on Discord. The rock pies were horrible. They were the first ones that I converted to DeFi and then eventually Wingbits. And even that has problems staying connected, where it would say it's online because I could SSH into it, but it didn't run the SDR right or something. And we had to keep rebooting it, or had message issues, DNS overflows or something like that. And Max, he used to be Maxi, now he's Max. On Discord, I had to give him remote access through Tailscale. We had to go run some script so the rock pies wouldn't, because it had its own OS. They were trash, complete trash. You know, Helium was so strict on what they were going to allow, but yet they allowed that stuff. But yet your sense caps and my MNTD golds with the bigger RAM in them were flawless. I'll be honest with you. I had 2 Bobcats. One I purchased, and then some guy contacted me and said, "Hey, I got a Bobcat. I can't get to work right." I'm like, "You sure?" "Yeah. I'll give it to you for like $50. And I took it from him, and all I did was reboot something on it, or redid something on it, tethered it, and it worked. So, some of them worked great. I don't know. I mean, my ones in Baton Rouge are still, New Orleans is still oversaturated. Baton Rouge had a scammer who had, if you remember, Helium had DIY devices at first. This dude had, and I'm planning on doing a video of the whole backstory with this. I'm just too lazy to go back and find all my pictures and stuff like that. But I have pictures of this guy back in our time when we did this. He had over $1 million of H&T. This is when it was like $17 to $20, because he had 20 to 25 stations all set up in Baton Rouge. And they were in empty lots and stuff like that, or places he didn't have them. And what you come to find out is, it was some data center that some dude worked at in Baton Rouge, who had them all daisy chained together. And eventually, when he was one of the first groups when they came out with that ban list, he was banned. He had them set up in a cross in, I don't know if y'all ever heard it, but the state penitentiary in Louisiana is called Angola. They have a big rodeo that the prisoners put on for shows. Attracts all kinds of people. They go to it every year. But in the fields that he had like a cross setup of stations, like complete scam and whatever like that, but made millions off of it, because of the token up to $40. It was just mass craziness. But now he's all gone. My Wingbit station that's on the interstate, my Helium station that's on the Helium is on the station that's on by the interstate still. It's by far my best collecting station. But even at that, might be making 50, 60 cents a day instead of 17, 18. Hive Mapper Bees. Tell you what, I canceled mine months ago. Y'all know that. I saw that writing on the wall. What is Hive Mapper price even at right now? Or honey gain, or honey, or whatever it is. Hmm. 6 cents in the last month. I mean, down 32% the last month. That ain't too bad compared to everything else. Holding steady for the last 7 days. It's up 1%. Could be worse. You know, I kept saying, you know, I ordered my B. How long ago was that supposed to come in? That was supposed to come in a while, like I forget how many weeks or months they said it was, and then he delayed it. And then he said November, then he said December. So nobody's getting Bs yet. Can anybody answer that? I canceled my B because when you started seeing all these fleets that were getting Bs and the amount of people waiting on Bs, that was helium all over again. You know what's going to happen when all these fleets get all these Bs and all these people get their Bs. You ain't going to make nothing. It's going to be worse than demo. But that's just, and then, you know, you get the one with the cellular stuff. You got to pay for cell service now on it. So Kyle, how is Rover? And Rover, if I'm not mistaken, is that the one that has like the spider or something? Is that the one where there's two different versions? There's a GPS version, and then there's like this much more expensive LiDAR version. Is that Rover or is that something else? Kyle says mine trackers be broke. The other day he said, did he get one shipped to him like special to demo out, or is the B shipping now that he got that that B? I upgraded the order of HTCs I bought in October Bs. Oh, I did the same thing. I bought an HDC probably last year, not October 3 months ago, last year. Then I got the offer to upgrade to the B. That's what I did. So I mean, I tried to get into it a year ago, but I don't know. So I got to figure out what I'm doing in junk coin. If any of y'all are running all these ESP32 projects, I have to say, just, y'all know I call it like it is. Not that I'm trying to throw shade, as the kids say. Still making $15 a day in entropy. Useless brick. I don't know what is really going on. I'm making tokens with them. I still can't figure out the whole burn thing, no burn thing. But I have to tell y'all, any of y'all who are in Irwin, the cat box thing, it's bad. Like, for the last 4 days in a row, the box has been burnt, or the cat's been burnt or dead inside the box, meaning you don't get rewards. Because even when you do get the rewards, you only get like half or one token a day, and the price is so down on it. But now, if the box is burnt before you get a chance to open it, you don't get any reward. So you haven't got a reward in that project for 4 days now. So in case anybody's looking at ESP32 projects, look, I think it's BFG or whatever who helps run that. He's cool as hell. Helped me with a lot of stuff in the past. He's the one that told me about this project. Helped me out getting set up. So I hate to throw shade on the project or anything like that. But I'm going to report to you what it is. So come Monday, that project was like number 5 or 6 on my list. As of right now, since Monday, I've gotten 0. Here we are, the 4th day of the week. I've gotten 0 from that project. So I don't know what's going on with Irwin. They're going to have to change that script up. That I know it's all automated if the cat's alive or not, and you get rewards. I'm gonna tell you, when I joined that project, the second, I don't know if it was rigged like this, but the second or third day I was in that project, I was the box opener. I got like $85. This is the 3rd day of my project. I'm like, holy hell, this is gonna be a great project. I ain't opened up a box since then. And so you get 1 or 2 tokens for a box that opens. It's struggling. Let me see what the token's even worth right now. Token was 50 cents, is down to 27 cents. So, I don't know. I don't know if any of y'all are in Irwin or not, but I just want to let y'all know. True Crime Territory says Tarantula. Rover is the black magnetic they use GeoNet RT key that use the phone. They will light come to Cage. Got to be nice. I'm not going to second grade. You didn't play people that Bluetooth. I'm glad you brought up Cage. I got to discuss that. They claim they will not. McRiptopal, if you were new to DEPIN like I am, what 3 devices projects would you invest in? I'd get into the ESP project, buy wing bits, wait for the next big early access sensor DEPIN, my advice. Well, of course I'm going to say wing bits. Wing bits is getting bigger. The price for the device is I'm not going to lie to you. Y'all know I'm straight. The price for the device is a little steep, but luckily, y'all can see I'm looking up entropy. But luckily, Mr. Crypto Paul, if you go to HiFix or Helium Deploy, you can get a discount on Wingbits devices. But anyway, but I would also play with the free apps. Silencio, free app. Download it, play with it. I have a code for that too, somewhere, because why not? Desperate times call for desperate. I got bills to pay. I guess I need to do this one too. So I got this code, wrong corner. If you do Silencio, get some bonus points. But Silencio is a free app. Nadix, you're not going to make a lot in it, but you can look at Nadix. Those are some free apps that you can do to get in the DEPIN. You got Grass. If you have an old device, an old laptop, I don't put Grass on like this supercomputer I built. I don't run Grass on that, but I have old laptops. Any kind of devices, like if you have a Pi or something like that, you can run BitHarvest or Crank. I run BitHarvest, and you can run 6 or 7 DEPIN projects at the same time with that type of software, and you can run Grass. Grass had at least for me, a great airdrop. That only on like epoch 3 or 4, there's going to be 7 or 8 epochs before it pays. So you have 2 or 3 months to build that up and get you a good airdrop. Honeygain is another one that you can run. So there's several free projects out there that you can kind of invest in. 375 AI sucks. Battery drainer, I can't deny that, but that's why I have a charger in my car. If you think that's a battery drainer, try Cage out. Cage, you can watch the battery go down. But I am a very big fanboy right now of 375 Go, which is 375 AI's app, and Cage. Again, I flip flop. I guess I didn't tell you I don't flip flop. When I couldn't do Cage because of I didn't have all I got's iOS devices. Of course, I'm gonna talk bad about it. I think that's stupid, completely stupid. I don't want to hear about iOS wouldn't approve it because of the kind of app it is, because there's already apps out there like that. But again, I got a friend. It's good to be old and have a lot of friends who said, "Hey, buddy, I just got a brand new Android in. You want to borrow the old one because I know you can't use it." So here is Cage. And for right now, Grumpy is in this round. I'm ranked 140. I run Cage constantly. Let me tell you another trick I do. One day I'm going to do a video on all my tricks on Cage. If y'all got a Walmart next to y'all, take Cage into Walmart and you will be absolutely astonished. Y'all need to go. If y'all are in Cage, you'll have to go look at my video I did last weekend of me running Cage in this town that I went to visit. I went in the grocery stores, Walmart. This phone was on fire. I showed a video of this, and the Bluetooths and the SSIDs, you thought I hit a jackpot. It can't count fast enough. I'm at a ranked 140. So if y'all want to get in the Cage, I have a code on some of my other videos, 4E430177. Again, that's 4E430177. On 375 AI, I have a code, the Grumpy Dad. And if you use those codes for 375 AI, you get to bypass the the waiting period. So again, there's no shame in my game. I will. You go look. Dude, I'll get rid of this one so it's not too crowded. Chirp is the Cage app. So I'm kind of hyped about it. So another thing I've been doing is at work, I have my own parking spot next to the building, but I also work next to a major US highway. It is a little bit further walk for me, but I need the exercise right now. You know, I'm trying to lose some weight. So I tell everybody that I'm parking further, like they tell you to do. But really, I got a little battery. I thought I had it with me. That I have this phone. This phone don't have service. It has Wi-Fi, but my parking lot's got guest Wi-Fi for people that got to pay bills and stuff like that because I work at a government building. And it's a guest Wi-Fi open to anybody. So I have the guest Wi-Fi on it with the battery backup. I park there at 8 a.m. and I'm getting 4,000 and 5,000 connections on Cage. I'm tearing it up. I've been running Cage for a little over a week, and I got 5.7 million chips already because I've been running the hell out of it. You'd be surprised. Every car that passes you that's more than, less than 5, 6, 7 years old has multiple Bluetooth connections coming out of it. It's got its own Wi-Fi SSIDs coming out of it. So every car that passes by, you're sitting here and you're getting these data chips off of it. I love Cage. I have a lot of faith in Chirp. Chirp, if y'all saw my tweet earlier, again, if y'all not following this, y'all are missing out because I drop some great news stuff every now and then on it. Chirp really peeled me today because I had been talking to those guys, asking about it in the Discord, asking about it through PM, and they kept telling me Chirp devices were not going on sale anytime soon. 2 days ago, they told me that there'll be a Chirp device sale at some point, but they will put an announcement out. And then I find out today, luckily, somebody who's a longtime follower DMs me and says, "Hey, go check. They got Chirp devices for sale." By the time I got there, they were gone already, sold out. Which times are tight right now. I don't know if I had 100. I keep saying I'm gonna buy one. I don't have $850 free. Do I have it in crypto? Absolutely. Do I want to sell my crypto with the prices being down? I got a stomach ache right now contemplating that decision. I have to make the decision before tomorrow because they have more Chirp devices going on sale. But $850, selling $850 worth of crypto with these prices being this bad in the alts, that's a tough pill to swallow. I already have one Chirp black, what do you call them? Device, whatever it's called. I don't know if I really want another one that bad that I'm willing to take a huge loss on my crypto for. I don't know. And I joked around earlier in the entropy group that I was thinking about selling my entropy. That didn't go over well. I got a couple of $1,000s worth of entropy, but I'm not gonna sell that. There's no way. I have in Silencio, but I got that staked. I got it in Grass, but I got that staked. That's one reason why I kind of liked staking. I got a couple of $1,000s worth of Luna Classic because I bought that at the absolute bottom. And I've been staking that ever since. I've made several thousands or whatever in Luna Classic and staking. But anyway, but it's staked. So that kind of helps me from doing any kind of flash buys. So I don't know what I'm going to do. Look, there are people all over with Wingbits. They got people. They got them shipping to Africa. They're using several different third-party shipping vendors. I can't see them being an issue unless you think Argentina is going to have an issue for some reason, some kind of special issue. But they definitely are shipping those all around the world. You can go to Wingbits. You don't even have to be a member. You go to wingbits.com and look at that map with all the hexes and stuff like that. You definitely should be able to do it. Look at 619 trying to poach on my potential host like that. What kind of distance will the cage reach? I'm going to tell you, driving home from my hunting lease on Saturday, Sunday, whatever it was, Saturday, happy Saturday. You know, we're on an interstate. I don't know where you live at, if you have interstates or not, but we have an interstate. We have a large median of grass, but I'm talking about large median, not just like one or two strips. Like an 18-wheeler could fit sideways between this strip. And I'm picking, and it was dark because I didn't finish hunting until 7:00 p.m. Had to talk to the guys after till 8. So it's about 10 p.m. and I'm driving home. So I don't really have any vehicles on my side. But when vehicles pass me on the opposite side of that road, I was picking up their Bluetooth and SSIDs. It's all about the range of Bluetooth and SSIDs of what the people doing. You go drive, I know it's creeping, but hey, it's creeping, but it's crypto. I'm not doing nothing bad. I'm not taking pictures of nobody, but I go creeping through certain I hate to be giving away all my tricks, but I have to work when I should be at the gym. I'm creeping through neighborhoods and I'm taking this cage phone and I'm kind of like if this is my door, the top of my door, I'm kind of like resting my hand on it. Like I'm just cruising and holding the door. But really I got my phone, I got my phone up with my cage running to get more SSIDs and Bluetooths. And it's like you're hitting the lottery. You go into a more compact neighborhood. Let me tell you another secret. I'm giving away all my secrets tonight. For those who hear my live, apartment complexes. Everybody buys their own router for apartment complexes. So if you got an apartment complex with 100 rooms or 200 rooms, it's 100, 200 SSIDs plus all the Bluetooths. Every TV's got Bluetooth. Phones got Bluetooth. Xbox controllers have Bluetooth. Think about it. You go do a cruise around an apartment complex, holding that phone up. Yeah, I just got wing blocked. Let me tell you, listen, it's a cool challenge to be the Gestapo of the Gulf. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, without trying to make this any more later than what we're already going, let me see if I can pull this up. The reason I call myself that is because I always wanted to be the Gestapo of the Gulf and spread out my stations all over the Gulf Coast. That was the whole idea. That was the whole joke. And this is my stations here. I don't know what it's clicked on right now. So I'm trying to figure out how in the hell do you see total stations. So when you click on some of my stations, make sure y'all can hear me because this mic's so directional now. I'm not y'all can see how often I use this new map here. So this is the new map. So when you start clicking on some of my stations, you can see where I'm covering here. And then I have another station over here somewhere. So at one point, if somebody can tell me how to do it, I'm getting in trouble for not knowing this. But at one point, you used to be able to show total stations and total coverage. So I got another station over here. This is my other station. So if you put it together, you can see my coverage here. My Grand Isle station, when this was online, I don't know why. It's not. Right now, it's in a temporary setup because the guy moved. So another buddy let me just put his on the porch. But when this was set up, this station right here was literally set up 10 feet off the ground because it's on a 10 feet metal rail post. 10 feet off the ground, literally 10 feet from the shoreline in the Gulf of America. And the Gulf of Mexico, because you see it says Gulf of Mexico. Gulf OD Mexico. Anyway, I was getting almost to Cuba with it because they're going to show you with 10 feet. So again, I had it coverage from here to here. But that is why I set up these host stations. But they've been pain in the butts. You know, I had a guy who I went on a hunting trip and swore he wanted to get in crypto. He wanted me to set up a device. And this is my station right here. It's been offline for 2 months. And then come to find out. And look, you see how there's no stations around here? Yeah, eventually there'd be a station here and a station here. But majority of this was wide open. He lived on the hill. I got so excited. Made him a very good deal. He kept giving me excuses. It was at a rental house because his personal house had nothing but trees around it. And then he contacts me. If y'all saw my video, contacts me last week. Hey, I sold my house, the rental house. I guess I got to ship everything back to you. I'm like, no, if you have another house, I'll be happy to put it there. So he has another buddy that lives just a tad bit north of that, you know, but getting hosts to do resets and stuff like that gets to be a pain in the butt. You have to worry about getting sniped. At least I do. Y'all might not be advertising it, but I talked about putting one in Corpus Christi several times. And then all of a sudden, you got stations all over Corpus Christi. I talked about putting one in Amarillo. That I had somebody contact me one in Amarillo. And what shows up in Amarillo? Now, we talked about putting one in, I don't think D. Vaselina's here, but we talked about putting one in Wisconsin. You know, where the hell? There was one that was supposed to go to Wisconsin somewhere. Or not Wisconsin. Wyoming. And I forget what it was called. But anyway, and I was going to see, and I mentioned it online. I said, I want to see if it gets sniped. And I'm waiting to see if it gets sniped or not. Because now I have to wait for a station. I got to, Chugwater. Wherever the hell Chugwater is. In Chugwater, Wyoming. And I mentioned it, so now watch it get smoked. The offline guy for 2 months, God must be pissed me. It is. But luckily it was a station that I had online for a long time, because you're supposed to keep it online for a certain amount of time. And I even created a ticket and told them what's going on with that it's not really my fault. It's been offline. It's been online for a year. It's probably one of my first stations, but it was a very poor setup. So I took it down from my location. They moved it up there. And I created a ticket and told him about it. But now he has his buddy that wants it a little bit north of him. I said, dude, you got about a week to put it in there, or I'm putting it back up out here somewhere. Even if I don't get the device back, that's what's cool about the DIY devices. He's never going to plug it in until I tell him how to plug it in and what to do with it. So if I have to, I'll just take one of my other devices that I have here as a spare and get it back online down here and just say, screw Missouri, because there's more stations now than there was in November. So I got to find Chugwater, because I'm really, 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 really wondering if anybody sniped me on that yet, because I've mentioned it several times in my videos. So I'm waiting to see if Chugwater. I mentioned that town in Florida, my first host station. Guy contacts me. Next thing you know, there's 2 stations there. I mentioned Corpus Christi too many times. Next thing you know, there's 4 stations there. Mentioned Amarillo, Texas. Now there's 1 station there. So I want to know if Chugwater. Not yet. Nobody sniped me on Chugwater yet. Oh, I guess y'all need to be looking at the map. Here's Chugwater. Look how wide open Chugwater is. So y'all don't waste your time. Chugwater's got a station headed to it. I want to see if Chugwater. I want to see what happens, because anybody now, they're going to have to buy a station, and now they're not shipping out. The new stations now not shipping out till March. But I got another very piss poor setup, DIY wing bit station, and I can ship it up. All I was waiting on to find out about what he's gonna need for connection wires and that kind of stuff like that. So anyway, that's about it. Anybody, Kyle Coffee says, how come when I click to buy Chirp Miner, it takes me to a bid page? Weird how it's set up to buy these unless I'm missing something here. So what Chirp does is, and I wish I would have bought one, of course, in hindsight, but when they first started selling these, Chirp has been around since well before Wingbits and D-Fly. So Wingbits and D-Fly have been out for now almost 2 years. So Chirp might be 2.5 years. And that's what they said. Like, nobody knew nothing about it. There were 16 people in the Discord. But hey, we all wanted to find what the next helium was going to be. Then all of a sudden, without really saying nothing, he couldn't even show pictures. He was like, hey, the way we're going to do this is you have to buy an NFT for $800. And then when we're ready to ship, you'll cash that NFT in for a device. And we all threw red flags up like we were referees in the NFL. Because with helium, when you bought a device and you didn't get it shipped at some point, you can always do a chargeback or whatever you want to call it, a refund on your credit card. Well, now you have this brand new project with Chirp. Nobody's really heard of before who wants to buy an NFT for $800. If they never shipped you a device, you can't get a refund on your credit card because you bought something. You received an NFT. So that just threw all kinds of flags up for us. Some people said, screw it. We're taking a chance. Me, I was more cautious. Been scammed before. I'm like, I'm not going to that. They end up getting devices. Luckily, I won a device through Tech Hustlers contest, so I'm forever grateful for that. But when they went for sale again a while back, that's how it was set up. You had to go to that website that they advertised earlier. You had to buy an NFT for $800 something, $850, but it was set. It wasn't bidding. It was set at however many sui that you needed at the time for $850 worth. That's how they did it again today. Today they released NFTs on that website. I forget which one it was. And you have to buy the NFT, but it's a set price. There's no bidding. So I don't know where the bidding is gonna, let's do a trade. I got helium Wi-Fi hotspot, both indoor. What you want to trade it for? Cash money. So Kyle, I hope that kind of answers your question. You know, city's already ready saturated geo. That 619 said somebody already tried to assert. Gotta wait to see. Hope he doesn't set up. I'm wondering though, what's the cutoff date? Like, I want to know, when are some of these hexes going to start disappearing on even the DIY side? I've always complained that, like, helium. I had a helium device that went out early. It took 2 years for that hex to eventually disappear. I think that's when it eventually swapped over to IoT or something, or they changed the Explorer map or something happened. And I can understand from a business side, you don't want to erase that hex because that hex looks like, and I've always said that on the Helium Facebook groups and the Discord. I don't know how I never got banned from the Discord and Helium, but you're lying to potential customers that you have coverage where you don't have coverage at, because them stations have been offline for 6 months, 8 months, almost a year, and you still got the hex shaded as it has it. So I'm wondering, like, Wingbits, the DIY side, how long are those hexes going to stay until they're open for somebody? As far as the stations are concerned, you reserved that when you bought that station. So there's really no excuse for not setting up a station that you get in the mail from HiFix. But I'm sure I know for a fact there's a cutoff. They've mentioned it before. I just don't know. So I don't know. Oh, Crypto says he's got sorry Cage, a week now, 1 million. Hey, I'm hitting it hard. But I always get excited for these projects when they're new, and just like anybody else. There's been a lot of people asking. Cage has not started rewarding yet. The Wingbits stations have started doing rewards. But Blackbird Miners, I think they're called, those rewards have been going down every day also since the main net started. I've been losing like 1 token a day, which doesn't sound scary until you realize like I started at 182 and now I'm like at 175 a day. I hope it doesn't keep going down that fast, because at some point, 2.5 months, you can be down to less than 100. I hope they got more rewards going to those devices or not, but they still have not started rewarding the Cage yet. But I don't know what they're waiting on. But once they've said several times, once they start rewarding for Cage, then it'll automatically be rewards every 10 days after. So, we'll see. We'll have to see what that does. Oh, my setup video coming out tonight for what? I can tell you right now, I'm tired. I'm supposed to be playing Call of Duty right now with a couple of friends, and it's been a long, stressful day. I don't think there's gonna be any videos coming. I got several videos written down of several videos I want to do. One that I've done that I've finished editing. I got a short coming out tomorrow morning. I think I did 2 today. I'm trying to really get the momentum, play with the YouTube algorithm. I've been trying to talk with Tech Hustler and a couple different people. They got 100,000 subscribers. Don't hate the player, hate the game type of thing. That I'm trying to figure out how to keep building the channel up, because the way YouTube works is you don't play their game, they don't push your videos out for people to be able to see. And I'm not doing this just for my own ego. I'm trying to do it to help people. So I'd like to see it get out. I think with this bull cycle coming, all these projects going to mainnet, I am looking at, and I keep forgetting the name of it. I'm sure somebody here can help me out. They got that other wireless project where you can repurpose your TP link. We talked about it on my live like 2 weeks ago, but I finally got a hold of an old TP link access point that you can redo the firmware in it. And that's a crypto project also. And right now it's only proof of coverage. You don't even have to worry about it getting data or something like that. I'm planning on working on that. Like I said, I got Junk Coin started on my ESP32. I just joined that one about 2 days ago. Got that working. Yeah. Warrior, thank you. I gotta write that down. Why do I have a problem remembering that? I'm not gonna find paper. See, that's what happens when you live in electrical. Look at my notes paper when I'm making videos. You can see why. I mean, I can't lose anything with that. So I'm gonna write that down for you, and I'm gonna circle it so that I can't miss it. Because that's my project for this weekend, is getting that TP access point working and bringing that project, because I've heard some positive things about it. I don't really know that much about it, but I've heard some positive things about it. So hey, again, the cost isn't much to get into it. I have the old device when they had upgrades to the Wi-Fi system, so everyone wants faster Wi-Fi. So all that stuff was going in the trash can. I was like, hold on. I'll throw all that stuff away. You can take that apart and build a nuclear reactor with it. Oh. B says, mine just got shipped, notified to be shipped from Heal and Deploy. B, is that the Nubula you're talking about that just got shipped off? So who asked earlier about the Geosigner? I'm trying to find out. I haven't been in the Wingbits Discord tonight. They were supposed to be doing an automatic update on your device to get ready for the Geosigner. Once I know that that's done, I will do a short and I'll put it on my Twitter X. I call it Twitter X because X just doesn't ring to me. That, hey, it's now time to plug in your Geosigners. and you can SSH into whatever to confirm it with the little dashboard they got or whatever you want to do. But I'm planning on putting up when I know for a fact that the updates have been sent out and you can do it. I'm gonna let everybody know. But if you go to Discord, I'm sure there'll be plenty of people talking about it. There's several people who have did it already. At one point, you had to do a manual update, but if you didn't want to wait the manual update, they were sending out an update. So we'll see. Wario Apocalypse. It's got oh. See, I didn't know that you could buy that device from somewhere else. I thought that was all build your own devices. See, I'm going to have to write that down here in my trusty notes. All right. So we are going on 2 hours and 15 minutes, longest live ever. I appreciate the people who are stuck around. You know, I contemplate doing lives more often, and you'll also notice for those who've been here the whole 2.5 hours, God bless you. You must be really bored. But I didn't have a countdown timer to begin with because just like every other goofy thing is, I had to buy that timer. It was only like $4 or $5 from a website. And I liked it. A lot of people talked about it. That's why I bought it. But yet now you get flagged for copyright because it has sound with it. And I got flagged that not that I do these projects for, I tell y'all, these videos make me, everybody thinks they make money off YouTube is a liar, unless you have like 200,000 subscribers. I make literally about $2.30 off each video, including my lives. They tell me how I'm not going to be compensated because there was a complaint because I had compensation turned on with that countdown. I'm like, so the compensation goes to them or something, YouTube, the way it read. I'm like, what kind of BS is that? So, you know, that's why there was no pretty countdown, that everybody liked the pretty countdown. All I got to do one without sound, basically. What position rank are you in Chirp Cage? Let's see where I'm up to right now. So, global, I'm at 969. For the round, I am at 140. And I am with, I'm going to try to pronounce that because I don't want to get flagged with YouTube. I am with the FCK Wire team, whatever. And I'm at rank 596 for that. Like I said, with 5.7 million tokens. Now, what I told people in my video when I first started talking about Cage is I would not join the FCK Wire one. I would join the other team because there was massively less people. So you should have a lot less people to go through to get a higher ranking than this. But here's Tech Hustler again. Tech Hustler is number 9 on the FCK Wire, running 47 million tokens or whatever his points right now. That is unbelievable. But I talked to him today about it. He's running it constantly. And the thing about referrals also is if you use my code to download Cage and start running it, you get 25,000 free data chips, as you can see in the there. I get free data chips also, but that's a one-time thing. It ain't like Silencio where if you do a referral and you get your friends and your family to do Silencio, you make a small percentage of all the tokens they do. Chirp Cage is just one time. You get 25,000 free to start off with. I get something for you joining, and that's it. So everything you see built up after that is me doing it on my own. So, and for those who came in late, I just hit a huge award in Silencio because I got 50,000 hex. So that was 25,000 SLC tokens. And that was actually, you know, pretty good. But my point is I kind of rubbed that in certain people's face in a YouTube short I made because you got people out there complaining that YouTubers and influencers from TikTok and everything, they don't do the actual programs. They just push their code out and make the money off that. So I had to go and rub that in people's faces that I did that. So let me see. $5. Ooh, I made $5 off of that. Silencio needs to get some money put into their token too. Well, thank you, Mr. Crypto. I appreciate it. You made $4,000 from a viral video that got 4 million views 13 years ago. Listen, I'd love to get a viral video. I don't know what I need to do to get that done, but 4 million views. I think the most I've gotten, I hate clickbait. I hate clickbait. That's why I can't follow Wendy O anymore. Wendy O is the queen of clickbait. She will come out and say, XRP went bankrupt. And then so everybody clicks on it and then say, well, Wingbit's cafeteria worker ended up going bankrupt because she didn't pay her credit card bill. It's the same thing. But XRP is doing great. Let me tell you why I'm so bullish on it. And I'm like, after the 20th time of seeing that clickbait shit, I'm done with it. So the one time I did clickbait one time, and it was a Wingbits thing, and I said, Wingbits, I don't remember what it was. It was 6 months ago. Screwed me over. Wingbits did this, Wingbits. It was a complete clickbait thing. And I got thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. So clickbait works. Even though you hate it, and I won't stoop down to it a lot, the clickbait thing works. But I tell everybody, I don't lie. I'm honest. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong about this project, if I'm wrong, I told y'all 7 times a night that I contradict myself a lot. A month ago, I hated Cage because I couldn't run on the iPhone. Now I love Cage because I got an Android to work off of it. I'm carrying 3 phones right now. I look like a fool. Actually 4 from holding my Natix, because I have an old phone I'm running Natix on also in my car. So when I get out my car, I'm holding 4 phones like a goofball. But I hated Cage. Now I love it. Hey, I tell you all the time, I'm honest with y'all. That's why when people go into Sword Chain, this goofball, and wants to call me a liar, that I lied about this, lied about that. I'm like, dude, you don't follow my channels. And then he has the nerve to say, and then he dared to attack DFly. I'm like, bro, you just gave yourself up. Change the name, but the cookie's the same. So 6 months cheating. I'm telling you, I would never call it hacks. There's little things you can do for Cage to improve your skins. My next thing is this weekend, because I'm not gonna do all I'm working. Don't laugh at me. I want to go park next to an interstate highway when it's really packed and there's a lot of cars going through, and just hold my phone up, because every one of them cars have several Bluetooth devices and Wi-Fi SSIDs. So even though they're going fast, I want to see how fast this Cage app. See, it's really just a test. I'm not cheating. It's just a test. I want to see how fast that Android phone can detect those Bluetooths and Wi-Fi as these cars are going by at 75, 80 miles an hour. And I want to see if I can do Cage with that and see what kind of rewards I get. Like I said, it's little things. I park next to the highway at work now because my parking lot is right up to a highway. I park a little bit further. I need the exercise. I'm getting 4,000, 5,000 Bluetooth connections with that. It's helping me out. It's just those little things. Driving through a neighborhood now, I'm holding my phone up out the window. You sit there and watch, all of a sudden, watch all the connections. So, see, the whole SEO thing, I even have a side business, and I have a little company that the website host that really handles the SEO thing. And my side business, which is not on this one, there's on my other hat and somewhere else on but cbsynthetics.com, which is AM's oil business. That's on cruise control for the last 15 years. Sells oil, grease, racing stuff, jet skis, motorcycle oil is by far the biggest seller. It's crazy. There's just the Harley people in love with it. And but it runs itself. So I don't really know a lot about the SEO stuff because I have people that host that. I mean, that handle that much. I put a wing bits in the heart of an airport that has 2,000 monthly flights. Am I the only one nearby? How many wings can I get per day? It all matters if there's any other station. There could be a station 150 miles out, which I don't know how many kilometers that is. He could be 150 miles out and still capturing that hex over that airport, and you would be splitting it with him. Now, if you like one of these ones, like what's his name in Africa or South America or the middle United States, or the guy who was showed in one of the islands around Cuba, something like that, where he was the only station around, he's making 1,000 wings a day. I have 14 stations, and 2, 3, 4 of them on top of building tops. I can see I literally have stations that I've posted videos a while back. I've had stations that get 400 and 500. Even though people say it's impossible, I have the videos showing my TAR 1090 screen getting 450, 475, almost 500 miles of coverage. When people want to argue with me about antennas, like this guy that wants to come on who's selling antennas on Wingbits, not that I want to throw shade, but hey, we already passed that point. And then he gives these antennas to people that trade to test out because his antennas are the greatest things in the world. And then those people PMing me saying, dude, look at the coverage on this. The $40 antenna or $39 antenna from Amazon. I've tested all these antennas out. I'm getting 400 and 500 miles with line of sight or whatever it is. And people want to argue with me about that kind of stuff. So if you have the correct setup, if you can get a setup that's above a roof line where there's no roofs blocking it, no trees blocking it. Again, I have a station that was in Grand Isle that was literally 10 feet off the ground. The reason I know it was 10 feet, it was on a 10 feet metal rail post, whatever you want to call it. Top rail is what they call it. 10 feet, getting almost to Cuba, 250, 300 miles. You get that kind of coverage and there's nobody else around you. Every one of those hexes pays 25, 26, 27 wings a day, at least right now, the tokenomics right now. You can cover 35, 40 hexes with the right setup, and every one of them 30, if there's 30 of them with 25 points, what is that, 750 or something like that? You know, I'm making 1,000, a little bit less than 1,000 wings, I think, a day with 14 setups. So it's all in you. It's location. Listen, I am in agreements with 619 OTA, and this is why sometimes I miss out on good projects, because I want to see a project that I can see something tangible. And for those who used to be in DFly and then whatever it's called this week, that was the biggest scam of all is, hey, pay us $250 and we're going to throw a host satellite station, D-Sky, whatever it was called, in these certain spots that we need coverage. And then they couldn't tell you nothing about the host. They couldn't even give you a picture. We can't give you a picture for security reasons. Bullshit, BS. Don't put the name of the street on it. Don't put strip all the geo stuff out of it and show me a picture of my station I paid $250 for. No, we're giving you awards. Don't worry about it. 200 stations like that around the United States couldn't prove one. And then they got into NFTs. Hey, you pay us $500 for NFT. We're putting a station, a DFly station up at a airport in Afghanistan or something, and we're going to give you $1,100 worth of rewards. That was the biggest Ponzi going on. But because you were doubling their rewards, people didn't care. Eventually, supposedly that project went under. I refuse to follow it. I hate to even discuss it. But my point is, that's what scares me about DABA, is the same thing. Hey, pay us this money. We give you these rewards. And and we're doing all this stuff. And I like to be able to see stuff in my hand. Again, I'm not saying I know anything about Dabba. Please don't take this as I'm calling out Dabba being a scam. I don't know enough about it. I've had people tell me about it. I've looked into it. It's not for me. Some people don't mind taking that chance. Good luck. I have no problem. You don't hurt my feelings. Good luck. Tell me, report back to me to tell me how it's doing so I can tell everybody else how it's doing. It's just not for me. It's not for me. Influx is going for the gold this weekend. Pay 100% of taxes when they arrive here. Man. So you're right. See, that's the thing is I normally go to meetings once a month. I'm on the communications board for the entire state of Louisiana. We normally have a meeting at least once a month in Baton Rouge. And then I also have to go to the city of New Orleans every now and then. And I have not been to either one of them in like 2 months because the December one got postponed for the holidays. The January one was postponed because we had 9 inches of snow. We shut our state down, at least southern Louisiana, down for 4 days because we had 9 inches of snow. It's more snow than I've seen in all the years that I've lived in Louisiana combined. So I have not been to Baton Rouge yet, but I can't wait to take all these projects to Baton Rouge. Silencio. Nobody's hitting Silencio in Baton Rouge. I can't wait to go walk around the mall of Louisiana for a day. All those venues that nobody's hit. But I'm going to be sitting there watching the ads more than anything. That's why I hate the ads with Silencio. But same thing, walking around with Cage. I might have to bring my little battery backup thing because that's going to kill the battery. But I'm going to sit there and just soak up all those Wi-Fi SSIDs, all those Bluetooths in there. I'm going to go in there. Can you imagine the weekend before Christmas when all the people are shopping and walking through there with Cage? Oh, I can't wait to see what the rewards. That's what the big tell is going to be with Cage. Y'all can see I'm excited. I was already excited for the Chirp project to begin with because I know they're trying to be like Helium version 2.0. Instead of being so restrictive on what IoT devices they allow, they're going to be they're going to allow basically everybody. I wish I would see a little more movement on the network and not so much about Cage. That is where some of this FUD's coming in from their Discord. I do agree with that, but play along with the game for now, and I'm running Cage nonstop. Now, all this I'm running in Cage. I just told you I got 5 point something million right now. I'm ranked 100 on ranking. If I get $7 for it, next Thursday's live is going to be way different. I could tell you that right now. But I just have a feeling. The only thing that concerns me is, and some of y'all been in crypto. If I had to say what one of my biggest weaknesses is with crypto is the like tokenomics and figuring that kind of stuff out. Where when Chirp started, it was going to be about these Blackbird miners and this is the reward setup we're going to have, stuff like that. There was no even inkling thought about Cage. Now you have Cage. So where are those tokens coming from? Did they take them out of a bank somewhere else? Are they eating away at the Chirp Blackbird miner devices? And that's one reason why they haven't sold more in a year. You know, that's the kind of stuff I wonder is where that kind of stuff's coming from. Carlos asks, what's about my host business model for my antennas? How much percentage of the income do you give to the owner of the house, or do you pay rent to put on the roof of the other houses? I'm going to tell you, I'm going to get flamed for this because I'm not telling everybody, to do it this way. I have some very excellent setups personally. The coverage that I set up with my host devices was just so I can keep the moniker of Godfather of the Gulf because I'm covering the whole Gulf of Mexico. So originally I set up 50-50. I just didn't care. Like, I'm like, you're trying to talk to people. These were friends of mine who had no idea how crypto worked. So I didn't want to skim them too bad. So some of them they didn't really know too much about crypto. So I'm doing a 50-50 spread. The person in Florida, who told me he was gonna have this great super setup. Setup is horrible. I don't think that device gets 10 or 12 a day. To be honest with you, I'm giving him 90%. I know some of y'all are gonna think I'm an idiot, but I just look at it as if I'm skimming 50% of that, he's not gonna understand why that device. Because with this tokenomics, I hate to give out pricing because people keep asking me about pricing. I have no idea, but I'm gonna use, for instance, it's 1 cent, and he's only if he's getting 10 tokens a day, and he's only getting 5 cents. Not that 10 cents is gonna be a lot. It's just gonna look bad. So my point is, originally every host device got set up at 50%, but I have even moved it around a little bit, where if I know they got somebody getting very weak rewards, I'm giving them more because, one of my devices might be making 100 and something, 200, 300 a day. What do I need these 10 tokens for? But that's me. That's me just trying to show the coverage of what. And on the old map, I can press one button to show all the coverage I had all over the United States. That's just me, just as a joke, part of my support of, just to show my support of WingBits, how much I support it, that I want to show coverage everywhere. I know I would never do a set amount, because I tried telling this to people in my Helium Facebook groups and on Discord. People saying like, I'm setting up X amount of money to give to a host device. I said, y'all are idiots. Yeah, back when y'all set up the host devices, y'all were making this kind of money, so you didn't mind giving them $25, $30 a month. But now with the Helium device prices they are, what you're getting rewards, you're losing money every week. So I would not set up an exact price, but there is, depending on who your host is, there is a percentage that you have to worry about. Is when you tell these people like, yeah, man, it's a piss poor, it's a horrible setup, you're only getting 7 or 10 tokens a day, they're gonna think you're probably lying to them. Because if they're not familiar with crypto, they're gonna think, I hear people in crypto getting rich. You give me 70 cents a day? That's my worry with that. So I'm talking all that. Carlos can't understand English. Right now, all my hosts start at 50-50. 50% to me, 50% to them. And depending if the rewards are bad, I will give them a little bit more, because I have so many good miners myself. But that's me, and that's what I'm setting up toward the page. Now, if any of these other gentlemen, if any of these other gentlemen have any kind of other host agreements, they can chime in. I don't know. Again, it might not. I've heard a lot of people tell me they do 60-40. 60% to them, 40% to the host, because they do have to upfront device. Now, again, this was DIY devices. When I ran out of Helium devices to convert, I was buying little potatoes, or eventually sweet potatoes, on Amazon for like $35. But then you also got to pay for the SDR for $35, then the antenna for $35, and then some feed line, and maybe an outdoor box. But still, you only a couple of dollars. So I didn't mind 50-50 coverage, 50-50 splits, or even a 60-40 split. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if I'm buying a device for $400, like they're going for now, I might change that up a little bit. If I'm putting $1,000 combo device out there, GeoNet and WingBits, there's gonna be even more of percentage coming to me. And what I'll do is I'll probably even do a floating type thing. This is just me spitballing. That hold on a second. I would even do like a floating thing. This is just me. Is I would say, hey, once I make this certain amount to offset this price or this what I spent on it, we'll change it to this way. He'll get even more rewards or something like that. I mean, I'm just spitballing there. I'm not saying the host will go to it. Part of it is just to try to convince the host to do it. So You know, I don't know. Yeah, Influx says I offer less percentage, but that's him because you are paying for all equipment and the install. Host has no out of pocket, just depends on person, location, etc. You know, I'm the one doing the install, and I'm not doing nothing crazy. You know, I don't mind climbing on a normal roof. Um, Most of the time, what I'm doing is like my guy in Corpus Christi. He's got a big shed in the back. That shed had power and Wi-Fi. He lives literally a mile away from Home Depot. I went online, purchased a 10-foot top rail fence post for pickup at store at the Corpus Christi, Texas Home Depot. And on his way home from work one day, he picks up the pole. I sent him the antenna, sent him the device. He kind of installed himself, but it wasn't that hard of an install. The guy in Florida I had, he already had an antenna up. His device wouldn't stay online. He had an old Pi or something like that. He didn't want to, he was an older guy, didn't want to screw with it. So he says, hey, I got this antenna up already. What kind of deal you make me? And I said 50-50. And like I said, now he didn't tell me about all the trees he had. He had no trees really in his yard when he sent me a picture. Couldn't figure out why rewards were so bad. And then you look at Google Earth, while next to his house, he didn't have any trees. Across the street and everywhere around, it's a forest. So now my station that was in, or that's still in Idaho, 3 or 4 months ago was the only station around, was kicking butt. I mentioned Idaho 3 times in a row. You know what happens when you mention something 3 times in a row? Now they got 4 stations around it, and my rewards were cut in half. So, 50% my high mapper. It's 75-25, not the 50-25 after the year. So 6 months later, it's yours. That's cool. 619. That's Helium Deploy Earnings Calculator presents a realistic payback calculation, or are they being conservative or too optimistic? So, Carlos, if you can understand me, or somebody else can answer it. Does Helium Deploy have an earnings calculator for Wingbits? Because we have no idea what that token price. Like, somebody came and I even sent it to the mods, to the guys at Wingbits. Like, I blew up because you had so and so, the crypto miner guy, who did a video touting how much you were going to make with Wingbits, and I lost my lunch. I lost a lot. I went to his comments and blasted him, and I wasn't the only one. There were several of people, Wingbits people, who were in that Discord that backed me up, or even hit them before me. You can't make these outlandish project prices that what you're going to make $200 a month, $200. I forget what number he even said. We have no idea what the token price of Wingbits is going to be. None. You can kind of guesstimate a little bit maybe from the total token supply, but that's not what circulating is going to be. Like, that's just completely stupid. I don't know how they're doing a. Am I able to relocate the stations you mentioned? Yes. You can relocate stations as long as the hex you're trying to move into is not occupied. So that's what I'm saying. And I said, I mentioned it a little bit while. I know this live's been going on for a while. When I was on a hunting trip in Missouri, talked to a guy, make a long story short, he was interested in doing a Wingbit station. So I'll come home and basically pick out of my 14 stations, my poorest performing one, which actually was actually the one at my house. Even though it was on a 40-foot ham tower behind my house, it was my poorest performing station. And I don't know why that was, but it was. So that's the one I moved to Missouri. So as long as that hex that you want to move to is good, you can move it. And I'm pretty sure the actual professional built high-fix station will be the same thing. Now with the geosigners, and if anybody else wants to answer it, you know, I don't know if that's going to change anything because the geosigner is locked into that location because that's the proof that you're not spoofing. So I don't know how that works if it's tied into the Wingbits dashboard so it knows when you move. Oh, Carlos says refers to the estimated calculation of the amount of tokens you can earn depending on the location. I tried, but it's suspicious. It's a generic calculation. I find the best way to kind of calculate it, and that's why they have it there, is go to the Wingbits website, look on the map, try to find a station that's somewhat close, a couple of stations or whatever. Click on the map and see how many hexes, and how many tokens is getting per hex. But that's even going to be hard because the station that I'm talking about in Missouri, where this new guy wants to put it at, he's about 40, 50 miles north of where this other station is. Well, coming out of St. Louis area, there are a couple of Wingbit stations. So all my hexes to the north, I'm going to be sharing those hexes. But to the south of where that guy lives at, there's nobody down there. So I'm going to be making max amount, 25 tokens per hex on here, but I'm probably going to be making 5 or 6 tokens on these hexes. It's going to be, the biggest thing is if you don't have another station that's being owned, I would say within a 50 to 75 to 100 mile radius of you, you're looking good. That's what I would say. That's the big, and even if you have like one station, I don't mind splitting the hex with 1 or 2 people, but I wouldn't put one like in Dallas where they got 20 stations at. And another thing is, just so I can say from both sides, you can go and set up someplace where there's no other stations around. Like I talked about when I was looking at Corpus Christi, I would have made a even more percentage deal because there was nobody else down there. And when he first set that up into Mexico, Gulf of Mexico, the country, to Baja, into wherever, I was one of the better setups. I was making great rewards. Now it's crap because you got 4 people that moved in, 6 people that moved in. Same thing with Idaho. Same thing with Florida. So my point is, just because you going through the effort and you're like, hey, there's nobody else around here for 200 miles, I'm going to do great. Look at Daniel. Daniel's in Africa. One of the first stations in Africa. I helped him set up a year ago in Africa. Maybe not a year ago. 7, 8, 9 months in Africa. Helped him out. He got everything from Pod Hut. Oh, no, that was the other guy who just got his stuff stolen off the roof. That's another thing I was getting at earlier. If I do a host agreement and I'm putting $1,000 station, we're going to have some kind of agreement that says, if my device happens to get stolen, we're going to have an issue. So we're going to reimburse them. But anyway, Daniel's in the middle of Africa. No other stations around. He sets up a station. He's doing wonderful. Puts it on top of his apartment. He's doing wonderful. He's in the middle of Africa. Guess what? A month later, somebody sets up one next to him. What's the chances? So you have to watch out for that. 619 says even further, like 150, 300. I just think it's gonna be hard with the point we're at now. 619. I was trying to give a conservative number because I think it's gonna be very hard to find a swath of land for 150 to 300 miles. That's just me. But what do I know? Let's see if I can get into. So if you look at the Wingbits map, let's look at the Wingbits map real quick. I gotta go, but we're gonna look at the Wingbits map real quick. You don't have to sign in or anything. You can strictly go to map and start kind of looking around. Well, it's gonna have me signed in. So I'm trying to show you this from not being signed in. So if you go to the Wingbits website, you can see where they got stations at. So as you click on these stations, here's Dallas, like I talked about, you can see what people are making. And of course, I got the screen too big, so you can't see the other side. So with OBS, you got to bring it all the way over to the other side, make it a little bit smaller, and come back with it. There you go. So you can see that this person right here is only making 1.5 a day. Now there's somebody else around here because I'm using that this guy's making 8. Now you know this has got to be an apartment complex because he's only getting coverage on this side. So there's somebody else around here that's doing very well because I've used them for examples before. But my point is, you can click on other stations and kind of get an idea. You know, all these are like, here's one. This guy's got 100. So he's probably got a very good setup because right here in the city, you have people getting 5 or 6. So see, he's hex ranking number 1. Hex ranking number 1. So he's number 1 in all these hexes. So he's probably got a very, very, very good setup. But again, you go and find a station that's by itself. And even though this is not a good setup, he's only getting 5 or 6 hexes. He's got 25. He's getting 25 points a day, 25 credit a day. And then here's somebody else. He's got hexes. He's got other stations around. He's getting 150 a day. So that's basically how you have to gauge it. When you start getting around water, like this to me is going to be a poor setup. Even though he's getting 400, if he's this close to the water, I guarantee he's not that high. Because if he was high, and 619 might agree with me. With this water right here, you got to remember, this is my Grand Isle station right here. This thing, again, I'm going to tell you, was 5 to 10 feet away from the water on the shoreline. We don't have no pristine beaches down here. This was straight into the brown water right here. You can look at it and see how it was at the edge of this island right here, only 10 feet up. This station on a very, very good day was literally getting hexes down here. But that's how you're gonna have to figure out what, see, like this one station right here, whenever he gets online, he's gonna rock. If he puts it high enough, he's gonna rock. Let's see if we can find any good ones. I'd like to find one kind of by itself by the water. Oh, look at this one. That's a horrible setup. Come on, man. Making me look bad. I can always go to my rely. If y'all are still watching me, still with me, this is my old faithful I always go back to. This right here is one guy by himself. These stations must not be worth anything. He's got to be way high up. I even questioned a little bit, but he's making almost 1,000 a day. He's on the water. He's probably high up. None of these stations are really doing any good. So he's ranked number 1. So I don't know what these stations are doing. They can't be doing much. This one's offline, so that answers that. This dude's getting 300 a day. This one's getting 400 a day. So you see what doing water is if you're around water. Here's one in the middle of an island. Come on, man. Yeah, okay. So y'all see where we at with that. Only two in the state of Rio Grande, Brazil, Oman. Tell you what, y'all gonna have to DM me on Discord or something. Because I'd hate to start giving that kind of advice out of what is good and not good. Let me see. Rio. All right, so this is what came up for that. So they got one station that's right here. I don't know if that's yours or somebody else's, but there's one station that's right here. So you do have to worry about that one station. But other than that one station, I would not hesitate at all to put. Now listen, I would not put two stations if you live on this street and your other station is going to be at your friend's house on this street. Well, first of all, you can't do it. You got to make sure you don't live in this hex or your station, even if this is your station. The second one can't be in this hex. But if you're close to this water, I don't know how far out the city goes, but if this is the right area, because this is what came up when I typed it. Is it, I don't know. Let me see. I think if that's the right area, my advice, at least of today, would be I wouldn't hesitate to put a station up in that area. All right. Let's see what Mr. Crypto says. Oh, that don't look good. Oh, that don't look good. Mr. Crypto, I think you're late, buddy. See, if this was 3 or 4 months ago, what I would say was, if you have a DIY, or even now, if you happen to have a DIY license available, if you have a DIY, or if you can work out a DIY deal with somebody, and you have a very high location, prime location, you have building top that you can put this on, a tower, something that's going to have great, especially to the southwest. If you're going to have that, I would take a chance. Me personally, I would not risk $400 or $1,000 in device right here. That's me. Now, these other guys, yeah, see, 619, I'm guessing he's saying the first place in Brazil, yeah. Second place, no way. That's kind of how I feel about it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just wouldn't risk $400. Now, again, the one I was trying to find in Dallas that I found a while back on the video was surrounded with stuff like this. But I even kind of Google Earthed it a little bit. I think he's on a tower or a tall building. To some point down here. But the problem is you don't know what any setups. Like this guy right here, he's high. He's going to have a huge coverage. I just think that you're not going to get what you want out of this. And this guy's getting 0.6. Yeah. And that's the bad part is you want to see as many people come into wing bits as possible, but it's just not feasible. And that's what, see, like up in here in the United States, up in here, even like up in here. And I know this is very rural area, so it's hard to get connections, but that's, there might be one coming up here soon. That's kind of the only way I'd put one up and spend that kind of money. Get you a cold weather station right here. Wide open, man. This is wide open. Might freeze your butt off. But for the Brazil, I mean, I don't know what the makeup of this area is. It's all forest or something. But see, like if this is one person buying all this, that's just, but if anybody wants me to check something, y'all can send me something on Discord. Y'all can find me in the Wingbits group. And some of the other products to talk about. But I gotta go, guys. It was great. Look, make sure you please give me a thumbs up and stuff like that. If anybody wants to drop me $100 super chat, I wouldn't mind. I'm just joking. I had one person do that one time, and I about died. I couldn't believe it. But anyway, but like I said, we've been going for 3 hours, man. It's crazy. So instead of making $2.50 for this video, I might make about $4. Thank you, YouTube. But I appreciate it. I might start doing more lives if y'all like the lives. And this is the kind of session I like. I don't like to have exact of what we're going to talk about. I like to just BS like this. So I don't. Nick Caruso asked if I have my own Discord channel. I can't keep up with the Discord channels now, and I don't know what my Discord channel would really offer to say that I need one. I've had several people ask me that before, especially when we were going to come up with a grumpy meme coin, the grumpy dad meme coin. But I can't stand watching people lose money. That's why I don't like to lie to you, and I'm honest with you. And the thought of me starting, I've had several people approach me about doing a meme coin. They were going to handle everything and stuff. And we see, despite how some people might feel about her, I'm not a fan of her, never was, but the whole, Hawk to a girl. If anybody thinks she had anything to do with that rug pull, y'all are fooling yourself. The girl can't spell 2 + 2. She had people who said, hey, you want to do a meme coin? We're going to handle it for you. We're going to do this, this, and this. Okay. And her name was on it. That's what sucks. And I've had people who heard us talking a while back about doing a meme coin, because I have many people offer me they wanted the grumpy dad meme coin. And the thought of people getting rug pulled, anything like that, I couldn't handle it. It just, even though they kept telling me how it would cost me very little money to start, and they would do it this way, and and my point is, with all that is, if I did a Discord and was giving advice on projects and stuff like that, I wouldn't do it. Burrito, for those who knows Flying Burrito, is it Flying Burrito? Oh, God, I can't believe I can't remember. No, Who Loves Burrito? I'm sorry. WhoLovesBurrito.com. He has a great setup on all DEPIN projects. Talking about what kind of rewards they're getting, how he feels about them, the new ones and stuff like that. He has an Excel sheet. It's all, set up with different things like that. So if I can figure out a way to trying to figure out a way to show that screen. Nope, not that one. But Who Loves Burrito has a website. And he just goes through all these different, you can see down here, all these different projects and stuff like that, DEPIN projects. Look at him all. I mean, he does his homework. So WhoLovesBurrito.com, he has them ranked. This is where I found out, honestly, about Sword Chain and Demo at was through him. But he has, GeoNet with his rankings are and stuff like that. But y'all free to go. WhoLovesBurrito.com. And cool guy. I've chit-chatted with him before and stuff like that. I know some people hate Discord, but unfortunately, when you're in these testnet projects, you don't have a choice but to be in Discord. That's the only way you're going to be able to keep up with them. But I need a grumpy dad flag for the garage. Hey, for a while, I had people getting the hats and the T-shirts, but my son says I need a different logo. D. Vazzolino, if y'all know who that is from all the groups, he made this out of the blue. Surprised me one day with a shirt and stuff from the Bit Harvest guys. And but my son, I have hunter orange hats that we wear for hunting, and he puts black tape over it because he feels like his dad's always watching him. I'm like, what you paranoid about? But we keep saying we're going to make a little bit different logo somehow or something like that. But I've always said, I've had several people who contacted D. Vazzolino and bought hats from him and shirts from him, and I don't make a dime off of it. I'm like, as long as D. Vazzolino gets whatever paid he needs to get, pay for shipping, y'all worked it out. I don't want a dime off of that. I've always joked that I really wanted the neon, when I finish this room, whenever that'll be, I want to make this more of a YouTube studio with charts and with TVs with charts and stuff. But I wanted a neon sign in the back that said Grumpy Dad. But what I've learned though is that this right now is almost all lights off other than the monitors. And I have one key light that's down to like 6% light. And you'll see the light on this. If I put a neon sign behind here, it would look horrible. So I can't do that either. But I appreciate it. Make sure y'all like. If y'all haven't subscribed, make sure y'all subscribe. You know, I'm trying to build subscribers up. And make sure you follow me on X and all that stuff like that. I appreciate it. Again, if y'all want to join any of these projects, make sure you use my codes and stuff. I really appreciate it. It does help and it makes it worthwhile. You know, thank y'all for 27,000 subscribers. I always say when I hit 100 and 1,000, I never thought there'd be that many people to follow me. And it's weird because you'll go a month at 26,000 and don't move, and then all of a sudden you jump up 200 or 300. It's crazy. But I appreciate it. I gotta go, guys. It's 10 o'clock p.m. here, and take a shower and go to work and do it all again tomorrow. So I appreciate it. Thank you all again for watching, and see y'all next Thursday on next live, and I'll see y'all in the next video. I have a bunch of videos lined up. I got a bunch of shorts lined up, trying to spread it out. But if y'all want to see a video on something, let me know. Hit me up in Discord or in the comment section or something. But appreciate it.